Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's can't make everything make sense. Like why your mom still listens to the radio or what she meant when she sent that emoji. But a zero sugar drink that's still full of fruit flavor, we made that make sense. And strawberry, passion fruit, Concord grape, and more. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Agawam, Massachusetts, a creepy music box from 20 years earlier and a very strange letter of confession leads to the solving of the murder of a young woman who vanished into thin air. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another wild edition of Small Town Murder. And this is a wild, crazy, who would have ever thought this is the way you solve a crime, insane episode of Small Town Murder, as all of them seem to be, but again, it's wild again this week. I can't say, well, this one's not crazy, because it is. Yeah. Sorry, we're not going to lie to you. I'm trying.
We really get an antique that is involved. That's fun.
It's fun. Oh, it's really creepy and weird. So before we get to all that, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets to live shows September 20th, Minneapolis, Minnesota. You are up next. The big, beautiful State Theater. And if you sell this out, it's going to be our biggest show ever. So we're just really excited, and we'd love to
big deal.
be able to tell everybody our biggest show ever was in Minneapolis.
You betcha.
You guys have
Midwest.
been so good to us over the years, and thank you for doing that. The next night we're at the Paps, but I think that's sold out now, or there's like a couple of singles maybe left or something like that. Get all your tickets, because I'm telling you, they're selling out.
I can't wait to get back on the road.
I know, I can't either. I really can't. This is going to be a lot of fun. We have a few shows here in the fall, and we're jacked for them. So shutupandgivememurder.com. Get out there. Kansas City, we added more tickets there too.
Yep.
Austin, Boston, New York. They're going fast. Oklahoma City. Yeah, Oklahoma City, I think, is about sold out too. So never mind that one.
Really?
I think that one's done too.
Is it Oklahoma City that's on? Yeah.
I think so. Check it out, though. Shutupandgivememurder.com.
They're on the website.
We'll tell you all of that stuff here. Also, listen to our two other shows, Crime in Sports and Your Stupid Opinions. If you haven't been listening, holy hell, has Your Stupid Opinions been crazy. And Crime in Sports. We just did some very fun, old-timey crime-filled stuff on that, so check that out. And if you can't get enough of us, patreon.com/crime in sports is where you get all of the bonus material. We got a ton of it. If you're $5 a month or above, a mere cup of coffee, you are going to get hundreds of episodes of back bonus stuff you've never heard.
Sure.
And new ones every other week. One Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you're going to get it all, baby.
All of it.
All of it. And this week, what you're going to get for Crime in Sports, we're going to talk about, this will be a fun one, the most inept teams of all time, of all different sports, biggest losers.
Absolute failures.
It's just going to be a failure fest, which is so much fun. We can't wait for that. Lots of stuff to laugh at. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to go over some of this Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell mess. And
oh boy, is that deep.
Too much to cover in one bonus episode, obviously. We could do like a 10-part series on those people, but we're going to go over some of
the more disgusting shit.
Some of the weirder stuff and some connections we may have had to it because her brother was a comic in Phoenix, and so are we. So
at the same place.
At same places we've performed at and everything else. So we'll talk all about that. Patreon.com/crime in sports, and you get a shout out at the end of the episode too. Jimmie's going to mispronounce your name, and we're going to thank you from the top of the rooftops or the end of the show, whichever comes first.
And the bottom of our heart.
And the bottom of our heart. That said, disclaimer time. This is a comedy show, everybody.
It is.
It's a comedy show. The stories are scarily and definitely real. That's the sad part. We wish we could make up stories like this and just have them be funny, but these are crazy stories. We are going to have jokes involved. Here's what happens, though. They don't involve the victims or the victims' families.
Right.
Yes, because we're assholes.
Yeah, but
we're not scumbags. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to hear a wild story with some funny stuff thrown in here. Yeah. There's plenty to make fun of. There's nothing funny about actually killing somebody, but it's a lot of fun to make fun of a murder. I got to say, it doesn't get any better than that. We have no other recourse. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to hear a fun story, a sick and fun story. If you think that true crime and comedy never, ever should go together, then, I don't know, you might not like us, but you might. So stick around, check it out. No bitching later. That said, I think it's time, everybody.
All right.
It's time to sit back. I don't care where you are. Let's all clear the lungs, and let's all shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this, everybody.
That feels good.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
All right.
All right, let's do this. We're going to Agawam, Massachusetts.
Well, where in the shit is that?
Agawam is in kind of southern, it's right near the Connecticut border on the south in like western Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
So, not
rare
too
to be
far
over
from
there.
me. We're not usually over there. It's usually over by Boston somewhere or even in like northwestern Massachusetts a lot we've had, but not a lot in this area here. It's about 10 minutes to Springfield, so it's right outside Springfield. Oh. That's that. It's an hour 40 to Boston from here, so, I mean, if you're adventurous, still commutable. Yeah. And then about an hour and a half to Ashburnham, which was our last Massachusetts episode, The Old Flame and the Dominatrix. Is
that right?
Yes, it was. It was our last one over there.
I just found a place up there.
I remember.
I didn't realize. Oh,
yes,
wow.
that must have been stuck in your head. See what happens. Wow. The Old Flame and the Dominatrix. Yeah. This is in Hampton County and area code 413. A little bit of history here, a little bit of the town stuff, and we'll get to this wild ass story. So this is hilarious. The original purchase of this land, okay? Yeah. This is what it was bought for from the tribe that originally had this land. Right. 10 coats, like jackets.
This is what they purchased it for?
This is the purchase price of this town site. 10 coats, 10 hoes, and they mean the implement.
The gardening tool.
Yeah, they didn't just like, I'll give you 10 of my hoes.
My best hose.
Ladies, out of the car. Let's go. No.
You're going with the man.
You're going with the chief here. That's it. No, that's not how it works. 10 hatchets, 10 knives, and 10 fathoms of wampum.
What is that?
I think it's like
how much is a fathom?
I don't know.
1,000?
I was just gonna say it's a measure of sea of sea distance, I believe. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what a fathom of wampum is.
Fathoms of wampum.
Imagine if you found like something on like Facebook Marketplace and you said, "I'll give you 100 fathoms of wampum for it." What the response would be to that? I have no idea what you're talking about. You could buy a town for that back then.
Yeah, I bought all of this at Pawn Stars in Vegas.
No fucking shit. So
that's a crazy deal.
It's a good deal.
How many acres is it? How much land?
Not sure, but it's a bunch because there was
some swath.
It's Agawam. It doesn't matter if it's just this town because they were in the beginning. It was also West Springfield and Agawam were together, and then they split apart in 1800. So we don't know what the original purchase was. A shitload of land. It's a nice area too, not bad.
Several swaths for a couple fathom.
A little couple of fathoms of wampum. I mean, what else do you want here? If you do decide to make an offer on that house, see how many fathoms of wampum they'll take.
Well, it already sold.
Well, never mind.
It was awesome.
So they also had put a racetrack in there, a horse racing track, and Seabiscuit won the Springfield Handicap in record time in October 1935.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool. The racetrack also operated for a while until betting was outlawed by a referendum in November 1938, and then they had to close that down too because nobody wants to just watch horses race. Yeah. That's what's hilarious. Nobody's watching that for sport. It's just famous person from here, Annie Sullivan, who was the Helen Keller's tutor, as you might.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The lady that probably also didn't exist. Or the person that made up Helen Keller.
Yeah, I think exactly. You were thinking of Virgil Earp's wife, I think.
I was.
That's exactly. I knew it. Because that's exactly where I went to. And I'm like, we're the same. So we're going to definitely think of that. So let's find out what people think of this place here. Because the town kind of plays a big role in this case here. So we'll find out what they think with some reviews of this town because we've never been there and we don't know. I might have driven through here, but that's about it.
I may have going through Connecticut before, but fuck,
who knows?
Who knows popping up in them. Yeah, they go by so fast.
That's the thing. It's just exits on the highway. Here's 4 stars. Such a homey town.
Right?
That's homey. They say lots growing up in lots of not a Holmesy town, a homey town.
Holmesy.
Yeah, it's very Holmesy. Hey, Holmes. Such a homey town. They say growing up in a small town is what shapes you, and it's true. Well, wherever you grow up shapes you, and it's true. Not just if you grow up in a city, it doesn't shape you at all.
It does nothing of
you're a gelatinous lump when you're 18. No shape. You find and make your own fun, whether it's going on long drives or randomly to a Walmart or Target. In other words, there's nothing to fucking do here, is what you're trying to say.
It's a lot of wandering around.
If making your own fun is randomly going to Walmart, that's not a lot going on.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, the people in this town, for the most part, are very nice, except when you bring up politics or some touchy subject to the Agawam forum on Facebook, and then stuff really goes down. Yeah, the local
people
Facebook,
keep to themselves until you involve everybody with fucking politics. Of course,
on social media, where they're not even face to face with you. Yeah,
right.
Every small town's Facebook page is a shit show of people just arguing politics. That's all it is.
It's basically the app Next Door, but on Facebook because it's super because you don't need Next Door.
No,
because it's just your town.
Here is 3 stars, and this is a hilarious review of a town. I don't know if we have an animal control. That's a fascinating first line, by the way. I don't know if we have an animal control.
I'm not sure.
The only time I had an issue was when a possum showed up on my porch.
What?
Possum.
What does that have to do with the fucking town, man?
That's what I'm saying. The police came, put it in our backyard, and just shot it. Okay.
Awesome.
That's what they do. I didn't know that
Police
was
showed up and executed it in front of my family.
You couldn't just push it into the woods? Like, there's a lot of woods. It lives around there, probably.
I'm sure you all know what they eat.
Possum.
Just throw that over the fence and it'll go get it.
Well, who the hell would call anybody because a possum showed up on your porch? Just shoo it away. Get it out. Open the door. It'll go.
Yeah. Lock the door. It'll leave.
Open the door. Put a couple pieces of bread on the steps. It'll be gone. Done.
What's a
Fixed
possum
it.
eat?
Anything.
Cats? I don't know.
No, they eat like anything. They eat whatever.
Really?
We have
Like vegetables and stuff?
Yeah, we have possums outside of my place
Yeah?
here. Yeah, they eat like mice and shit too. They're handy to have around. Actually, they
That's
eat a lot
great,
of
yeah.
like predators, snakes. I think they eat. Very poor handling. Shooting it in my backyard
Of the murder? Yeah.
I guess, yeah. They didn't even clean up the crime scene. They put up a little square of yellow tape. Good. Then they just left it in our yard and told us we had to dispose of it. They just like buck, and we're like, yeah, you get rid of that.
We're heroes, aren't
It's
we?
like a mob hit. 2 stars. Kids are exposed to drinking and alcohol. Not kids being exposed to drinking and alcohol.
There too? If not
No.
in Massachusetts,
No.
in southwestern Massachusetts, where would you be safe?
God forbid, never watch a football game. They have ads for it constantly. Parents should be stepping in the way more to prevent it. That's exactly how it's written. The way more. And finally, 1 star, and this is a real. I love when they're really pointed at something.
That's specific. Yeah.
The mayor has been in office too long and is a jerk.
Shouldn't be.
Not only has he been there, I personally don't care for him.
He's a real piece of shit.
Many businesses have closed. There are too many houses and residents, but not enough jobs. Okay, there you go. So that's all the mayors.
Start one.
Because the mayor of a small town controls all that stuff.
He should get us all jobs.
They definitely don't control the job distribution, I doubt.
No.
People in this town, 28,715.
Oh, it's good sized.
Good size, yeah. It's a good size, but it's also a very small town feel.
Tight, yeah, sure.
These towns are kind of they're like by themselves,
Yeah,
so it feels small.
Off in the woods.
Exactly. Few more females than males. Median age is 46 and a half, which is well older than the regular. It's about 38 normally in the country. It's about a little over 50% married, which is above the national average. It's not a town where you're like, I'm swinging, I'm single, and I'm going to go walk around Walmart randomly for something to do. Can't wait to find everybody and hook up.
Average age is 46.
Yeah,
Good
average.
God.
Yeah, baby. This is going to be hot. Hot swinging times in Agawam.
High apple cider vinegar gummy sales.
Oh,
here.
huge, off the fucking charts. Nobody knows. The unemployment rate in this town is high, actually, well higher than the national average. Nationally,
Really?
it's like below 4%, but here it is 8.5%.
Oh my God!
So not enough jobs. That person was not lying.
You're kidding.
But the median household income here is higher than the national average. It's $78,619.
Okay.
It's normally about 69,000, so that's good. The cost of living 100 is regular or average. Here it's 96, so a little bit
Real
low.
average, yeah.
And the housing is pretty close to the national average. Median home cost here $309,500. So
And they're awesome houses, aren't they?
Some of them are. Well, let's find out. What do you say?
Oh, let's do it.
Since you looked in Ashburnham, maybe you want to go to Agawam. So
I can't tell you how great a New England house is.
it's their one. So for you, Jimmie, and for all of you out there, we have for you the Agawam, Massachusetts Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,300 a month, which is a little above the national average, but not terrible. Here's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 768 square foot house. It is a
trailer or house?
No, it's a house. It's a house.
Really?
Back then they had these little houses. Yeah, it's like a cottage almost. Like that's close to tiny house spec. 768. That's like you could get on HGTV with some shit like that.
Apartments that are that small are like laughable. They're crazy.
Small,
Small. Yeah.
It's a small house. It's pretty outdated. It looks like a Midwestern basement all through it. Wood paneling fucking everywhere. It's clearly like, grandma lived alone after grandpa died in this tiny house. But
minimalist home.
It's still nice and clean, and grandma kept it up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do some remodeling. It's not modernized, but $224,900 for that. A little high.
Is there 11 acres with that?
Nope, that is less than half an acre.
That's a lot of money.
It's a little bit high here for sure. But then, like the bigger houses aren't that expensive. Like here's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,268 square foot house.
It's 3 of that house.
Yeah, it's built in 1880. This house. So it's
probably been added on to.
And it has. It's been completely remodeled recently, you can tell, obviously.
Yeah.
And they added on to it. It's a 2-family house. Like it's a upstairs, downstairs house. So
got it.
It's a 2-family house now, and it looks like they added a 3rd unit, too, out back. I don't know if that's for storage or what it is, but $443,500 for it.
Okay,
which
so
isn't
3 of that other house, and it's only double the price.
It's not terrible. So when you get into that mid-range, then this isn't bad either, except I don't like the house because in the Northeast, I like an old-timey looking house. You know what I mean? I don't want a brand newish, sleek, modern
house. That Cape Cod
house
is fucking dope.
This house is 7 bedrooms, 5 bath, 6,025 square feet, a monster. It's on an acre of land, and it's a total McMansion. Like, there's no trees around it.
Oh, there's
no
fucking charm?
No, God, no. The charm has been flushed away and replaced with quartz countertops. That's in place of charm. It's got some ugly, smeary shit in the entryway, too. It looks like shit smeared on the walls. That's an art thing.
God.
I don't really like it. It's very, very... It's too much. You wouldn't like this house. Neither of us would. $999,999 for that bad boy.
1 acre.
That's 1 acre. Yeah, the house takes up a good chunk of it. So
it's right in the fucking middle of all that.
It's right in the middle. Yeah, you just have some lawn around you. Things to do in this town. Okay. Things to do. Not a lot going on, as we found out driving around, going to Walmart. So they do have Target. They do have the Big E Arena. Okay.
What is that?
Here we go. It's, I don't know, the Big E, and that's around the Big E Arena. I guess this is some kind of festival. They say music fans will enjoy top-name concerts at the Big E Arena. Terrific. That's good. Top names. Also, shop till you drop here.
Yeah.
Only at the it's what it says. Only at the Big E can you go home with a set of steak knives, a hot tub, a sweater made from alpaca fiber, and maybe even a tractor. Yeah. Sounds like an Old West general store. Like, what the fuck is that?
4 things you cannot find in the same building usually. That's true.
Usually not. No, you can't get those all together.
Unless you go to Cabela's.
Yeah, and even they might not have the hot tub.
They might not.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have the hot tub.
It may be inflatable.
Yeah, that's it. With everything you could ever want all in one place, it's better than any mall in the world. Oh, great.
I don't believe that.
You know, it's like the internet, but live.
Feels like they haven't been to Minnesota yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
There's a pretty good mall there, guys.
Also, get your ag on.
Oh,
yeah.
Agriculture.
Agriculture is one of the Eastern States Exposition's oldest traditions, and Farmarama is the heart of agriculture during the Big E.
Okay.
Visit the chick hatchery, pet a goat, learn about the secret life of bees, and all things farming in the Stroh building.
They got a secret life?
A secret life. I think we covered that in the cartoon movie, right? I think we got that.
Yeah, there was Jerry Seinfeld told us all about
it. I think he really broad strokes over that whole thing, I think so.
He even brought Schwimmer with him, and somehow Schwimmer's drip character came through his voice.
It always does. You can see his face.
It's crazy. Yeah, you can see his boring, no smile face.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, my God. So there's an auction. There's all sorts of shit. Painting workshops, rock painting. Oh, boy. Painting a rock. Yeah, you actually are painting a rock. Okay. They also have a Pioneer Valley art walk through history. Currently displayed at the Agawam Library. Take a walk through history by viewing our artist's rendition of historical places. At the close of the show, the art walk will be displayed at the Pioneer Valley Festival. I am bored already thinking about that.
Yeah.
So
can't think of any pioneers that were in Massachusetts.
Let's find out some bands that are playing, shall we?
Yeah. The top names?
Well, we'll get to those in a minute, but this is on the emerging stage, the E stage, the emerging stage. We get Win and the White Light, which is like 3 22-year-old chicks. I don't know. They don't have instruments, so I don't know what they play. They're just sitting on a couch in their picture.
They just be all a cappella.
Reservations at 8, which looks like the only way to put it is 3 complete douchebags. Let me show you. Let me show you what we have here.
Elderly. What the? That's reservations at 8.
Yeah,
huh?
There's just 3 douchebags there. That's what that looks like.
Young men.
The Corner Boys, which is 3 white guys, one of which has yes, one of which has a banjo, and the man next to him is holding an accordion with a straight face. So
that's not what Corner Boys are.
That's different. Hello Sister is playing there, which is 3 chicks that all look like they're sisters. They all have they're all thin and have long brown hair.
Yeah.
Charlie Marie is playing, who is a woman, by the way, with with what looks like a sort of a cowboy hat on. And a
folk music
kerchief around her neck, so kind of folky. But if you want folk, I think you're going to want Sarah the Fiddler.
Yeah.
I wonder what she does. Not sure.
What's she fiddling with?
What's she fiddling? What's she fiddling around with?
She just stands up there like adjusting her jeans around her crotch.
I think so. I'm fiddling. Can't stop fiddling. I don't know why.
Oh, that's great, Sarah. Keep going.
Keep going, Sarah. Leon Trout will be there.
All right.
It looks like a band.
That's it, huh?
It's Leon Trout.
Right.
That's it. What else we got? Derek O'Canos. Catwolf.
I'm waiting. Got anybody recognizable? E County? What is it?
The E Stage. Maddie Ryan. The 413s. Drop Party. John Spignisi Band. They don't even have pictures of themselves. And then Jeaux. Jew?
Joe?
I think that's Jew. Jeaux. I think that's Jew.
Isn't that Joe?
It might be Joe, possibly.
French Joe? Yeah.
But how many people go, and now we're coming to the stage? Jew. He means Joe when they get out there, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we thought that it was pretty obvious, but I guess, looking at it in the retrospect, it's
probably Joe.
He pronounced it right, probably. We might be dumb.
And then in the main building, you're going to get Ludacris, of course. He's everywhere. I had to put him on because this show, he gets to every one of these things. Ludacris, Dustin Lynch.
He's great.
Brothers Osborne.
Yeah, they're great.
They look like
awesome.
Identical, except one has a beard.
Here's the thing, James. Every one of these guys, apart from Ludacris, it's obviously country.
Well,
country shit. Yeah,
Big Time Rush.
Yeah. Oh, what? That's a Nickelodeon thing.
That's what they look. And also, Public Enemy will be there.
Well, that is a wild lineup.
That's a wild lineup. Different days, but still, that's a You're going to have Brothers Osborne, Public Enemy, Big Time Rush. That's one weekend.
Yeah.
Which is it's everybody you're getting there. Crime rate in this town, what we are interested in here, we have property crime is about 1/3 below the national average, so pretty safe. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about half the national average. So
that's great.
It's it's a safe place, nice little town. That said, let's get into this here. Let's talk about some people first. Let's talk about Lisa Zeigert. She is born March 24th, 1968, and Lisa was born in Holyoke, Massachusetts. But spent most of her life in the Agawam area. She went to school there and graduated from high school there in 1986. And while she was in high school, she played saxophone and flute in the Agawam concert band, which would be difficult to play at the same time. Seems like
you can't do both. Yeah.
Both those instruments are taking up a good amount of wind from you, so you're going to have to
only got
do
one
those separate. That's She maybe she was very talented. We have no idea. No, but seriously, that's. I don't know how to play either instrument, so for someone to be able to do both of those, I'm real impressed.
It feels though like they probably are similar.
Probably they have you blow wind and you just have different.
You blow in it and finger it.
That's it. That's it. Well, she's good at those things. And she also, that was in the Agawam concert band. She also performed as a drum majorette for the school's marching band for 2 years. So that's another instrument she plays. Drums, flute, saxophone.
Unbelievable.
She should just make an album of all of her own stuff here.
Good. One-gal band.
She's also a member of the school's literary magazine and worked on the student newspaper.
Journalist, too.
I'm exhausted.
Brilliant.
As a teenager, I did nothing extracurricular. This sounds
That's
crazy.
the other part. It's like she has so much happening inside her body, turning her into a person, and yet she still has the ability to
I'm so impressed.
Talent to do this.
That's what and like artistic endeavors and shit. That's incredible. And she wasn't like slacking on everything else. She's also a member of the National Honor Society.
Hell yeah.
And the American Field Services Program, which I don't know what that is, but
I feel like I should know what that is, but I don't.
Sounds nice. So she is a busy young lady.
No kidding.
And likes to keep churning here. She graduates in 1986 from high school. She went to Westfield State College, where she received a degree in elementary education. She wants to be a teacher. And she wants to specifically teach special needs kids.
Is that right?
She's a fucking angel is what she is.
You're talking about a hero here.
Yeah, if you ever had a kid who has any special needs and has gone to school for that, some of these teachers that do this are fucking incredible people. They really are.
It's really amazing what they do. Yeah.
They can get your kid really out of a shell, and it's something, man. So anyway, her mother, Dee, would quote, her quote is that Lisa's a good person with a beautiful smile who warmed a room when she walked in.
Oh boy.
That's not good.
Whoops, don't do that.
That's not good. Yeah, you say that about somebody, you might as well put a target on their back.
You better just turn the thermostat down everywhere you go.
Teach your kid to be a little bit of an asshole. You know what I mean? You don't want anybody to say that. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So in 1990, she started working as a teaching assistant in the Agawam Middle School, where she worked with special needs students.
Right.
So she does that during the day, and she's a certified teacher. That's the thing, too. She doesn't need to be an assistant, but at the time, in the early 90s here, this is, 89, she graduates from there, there was a pretty damn good solid recession in this time in the country, and nobody was hiring new teachers. They were everybody was cutting back on this type of thing. So she couldn't find a full-time job anywhere. So she kept trying, but she was just working as a teacher's assistant all day, and but still, making an impact and everything. A friend of hers said we would go out, to clubs and we would listen to music and dance, and she had her favorites. But if we were in the car or even just driving and a song came on that she loved, she would pull over to the side of the road into a parking lot and just turn up the radio and get out and dance.
All right.
Wow. She just lives in the moment. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never thought to do that.
Really?
This is great. Pull over, fucking.
I used to embarrass my kids and do dance breaks like in traffic. If
in
the light
the
just
car.
turned red.
Yeah.
No. I'd get out of the stand next to the door and just make them very embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, we've all done that shit to embarrass our children, obviously.
Yeah, but that's as far as I'm not doing it, taking it dead ass serious.
Not. You're not doing it like if me and you were driving, you wouldn't be like, "Oh shit, James, this is my jam," and like pull over to the side of the road and get out just to dance.
I need a gas station fast. Are you on E? No, dude. This is the best song.
This is my shit. That's what I'm saying.
Watch me
right
shake
now.
my ass.
Should be twerking on the window. So there's a certain in the moment and certain just a love of life that you can tell just from that quote of this person must really enjoy life to be like
having a good time.
Wow.
No matter what.
I'm going to dance.
Have a full-time job and I'm going to dance about it.
She has 2 jobs too. She works at night. She's also a Sunday school teacher as well.
God, Jesus.
She is this girl is busy. This young lady like
she doesn't stop.
She does not stop, which is a good sign that she'll probably get somewhere in life, which is just going to keep plugging away. So at this point now, by 1992, she's 24 years old, and she's very close with her family. She has a boyfriend, a long-term, steady boyfriend named Blair. So, she's got that going on. She's got a large group of friends that she hangs out with.
Yeah.
And she works in the middle school, and she also works part-time at night in the evenings after school at Brittany's Card and Gift Shop, which is just a little tiny little box of a store.
Little Hallmark store.
Yeah, little standalone.
Why can't I say Hallmark?
Hallmark. Try to get an accent. It's a Hallmark store there. So she worked there in this place, it is like a Hallmark store, and they have balloons. Balloons are a big part of their business.
Yeah.
Snow globes and balloons, cards,
greeting cards,
little Hummel figurines and
the
trinkets
trinkets you give people and they throw away. Yeah.
Exactly. Or they put it on their shelf for a minute and then they throw it away.
Like, why'd they give this?
Her brother David describes her thusly. She was kind of a big kid. She was ready to enjoy life and see the silliness in things. It sounds like it. She'll pull over to the side of the road. The deacon of her church, where she taught catechism to second graders on Sunday,
mad Catholic,
said she lived for children. That was her passion. She liked teaching the kids in both environments. I mean, she couldn't get enough of the kids during the week. All week, this lady is overwhelmed with kids all day long. And she's like, give me more on Sunday. Yeah. That's impressive to me, like that you can tolerate that. Somebody needs to, because I can't. So,
truly, yeah.
Now, the weird thing is, at the end of March and into April, Lisa told a friend of hers that she felt like she was being watched at one point. She said several times in the last... there's always somebody. It's a Holy Ghost or somebody looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
She's always being watched, and she said she doesn't know if...
It's more than Catholic guilt.
No. She feels like she's being watched when she goes
that's what I'm
places.
saying. It's way more than Catholic guilt. She feels like there's a person.
Yeah, not like when she's fucking, she feels like somebody's watching. Like just when she's at the gas station, she feels like somebody's watching her pump her gas, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't think Catholicism goes quite that deeply into the guilt of,
I just put
not just having
in it. I shouldn't have done that.
Premarital sex with her boyfriend. It says premium only. I'm going to get away with it this time. I only need a half a tank. It'll mix with the premium.
He's judging me right now.
God damn it. Shit. Now that's it. Now I'm in for double. Fuck. So, she said that she didn't know if it was even true or if she was just a figment of her imagination. Maybe something tripped her out.
But she's got an eerie feeling.
She's got an eerie feeling, but she's also self-aware enough to go, I might have just scared myself, if you hear a noise and look into a dark room and you scare the shit out of yourself type of deal. She said, I don't know who it is, if it is anybody or if it's true or what, but she just said something was very, very weird here. And she could be feeling like she's being watched, especially at work, because the storefront has big, large plate glass windows in front, so you can kind of see in the store. So people that could make you feel like you're on display, you know.
Yeah, little fishbowl,
Little fishbowl-y, I would say. So she did all of that. She, was maybe at work. She felt a little creepy. April 16th, the night of April 15th, she works during the day, and then she works at night at Brittany's at the gift shop as well. Yeah. And then April 16th, her mom, Dee, says April 16th, the school calls and Lisa hasn't come in.
She didn't show up for work.
Didn't show up on the 16th, and she never does that. She's pretty dependable. They know they gave her an extra 20 minutes in case a good song came on. Maybe she was hitting a jam.
In a row.
Yeah, you never know. Like it was a block, like a 3-song, no commercials and 3 jams in a row, and like she could be a little late, but never.
Casey Kasem just hit her with that one with the bullet.
Yeah. Oh man, I got to dance to this. So there was a call from Lynn, her sister. This is the mother saying, the call from Lynn, her sister, Lisa is missing. Apparently, a store employee named Sophia had called to report Lisa's car, her coat, and pocketbook and artwork were all in the store, but she wasn't.
Her pocketbook's there.
Her pocketbook's there. Everything's there.
Like that. Yeah.
So the mom said, Lynn and I went to the store hoping it was a mistake. Maybe she was, she ran out for a minute or something, which I guess go check it out. So they're thinking about what happened on April 15th, the day before, besides tax day. Apparently, she taught all day, like we said. She got in her car, drove over to Brittany's here, and this is at 353 Walnut Street. Yeah. So that's where we're talking about. It's about 4 p.m. on a Wednesday she gets there, and this is Easter's on Sunday, by the way. So it's Easter week here. And Lisa, by the way, she's really pretty also, which is she's a pretty young lady, very happy. Yeah. She's described here as, it was masslive.com had a very good article on this whole thing. And there she's described as a 24-year-old with dark curly hair, freckles, and blue eyes. So
the life lottery, this gal nailed it.
Yeah. Pretty chick. Not bad. So she was scheduled to work until 9 o'clock, which is closing time for this joint here. They don't stay open late, generally, a balloon store.
No. Nobody's coming in. You got any get well soon? It's midnight. No.
I really need I need a happy 5th birthday now. I need it now. This kid.
I'm a real shit dad.
I'm terrible. I missed it.
He's going to wake up to nothing.
So apparently she spent a lot of her shift putting helium into balloons.
Yeah.
And stuff, because there's a lot of people doing Easter stuff for some reason here, like balloons and
pastel
shit.
Balloons go crazy. They do.
Yeah, so at about 5:30, her sister Lynn came into the store to visit her, which is nice, and they get to hang out and talk for a few, and they talk a little bit. Lisa talks about trying to get a job at, a full-time job teaching, and she's talking about her job at the school, and they're just bullshitting, chit-chatting, do all of that. Everything. About a half hour they bullshit for, and then Lynn leaves the store and drives home. Right. There's that. Now, a friend visited her also that night as well.
What a great life she has.
Yeah, people stopping, but it's a small town. People just stopping by. Hey, I'll go in and
say hello. Yeah.
Pop in to say hi here. And she said that she had been disturbed by a tall, thin man with dark hair who was hovering in the store. Around. Hovering, and that she said that Lisa had said that she wished that he would go away because he was annoying, basically. Yeah. But Lisa had recognized the man and said, "Oh, he's been here before." Because the friend was like, "Will this fucking guy go away? Who is this fucking asshole?" And Lisa's like, "No, he's been here before. He's looking for a present. He said what he was looking for, or whatever." So the friend was like, "Yeah, whatever," and she leaves, leaving this guy there. So. The next morning, Sophia Maynard shows up. She opens the shop in the mornings. Yeah. And when she drove up, she spotted Lisa's white Chevy Geo Storm, which is the most 1992 car you can drive.
Sure enough, yeah.
Holy shit.
You forget that Geo was a Chevy
car?
At one point. Yeah.
Forget it was
Chevrolet
a car at one point. Never mind a Chevrolet product. Yeah. Chevy Geostorm.
They put their fucking Chevy logo on that car.
Those were.
Oh, that was a suicide.
The Storm.
What a big mistake.
And the Storm was the one that like they thought was like a little sports car too.
Yeah.
That was their little sporty one, the Geostorm. Because the Metro was like the little bubble car,
Yeah,
like
that
the
was
little, like a little Tykes,
it went from,
looked like a little Tykes car.
But it was boxy at the first model, and it had a 3-cylinder. And then they put the 4-cylinder in it and went to like
the rounded.
It was the same thing as a Suzuki Swift. Yeah, that like
rounded,
an egg,
like a bubble car.
An egg with a pointed front end.
Yeah. An Easter egg car.
Yeah,
it looked like a hat basically. The little
it looked like a
thin little
baseball hat.
front end with big bubble. Yeah, the hat car. But she had the Storm, which is the cool one, for a Geo.
Yeah.
So she sees that her Geostorm is still there, which she doesn't work days, so that's weird.
Right.
And then saw the store's open sign was still
open?
Still open on the outside of the door. She's like, that's strange. The front door is unlocked and all the lights are on.
We are open.
We're open, which normally she's the opener. So she comes in, everything's locked and closed.
It's already
and
open?
Shut off and all that. So she's like, what the hell's going on? The radio was on also in there. Radio's on. She calls out, she doesn't know, so she's like, the last person here had to be Lisa, so she calls out her name a few times, but doesn't get any answer. So she walked up to the cash register and sees that there are her car keys and her purse.
Okay.
Sitting right there. So she walked into the storeroom and noticed that the back door was open and several boxes were knocked over and like stuff was askew. Basically.
Inside or outside?
Inside. The back door's open. And in the storeroom, there's boxes like knocked over and shit's weird. So she was like, what the hell's going on here? So she immediately thought there was a problem here, ran out of the store, went across the street to Alvin's Sandwich Shop and screamed, something's wrong, call the police.
Yeah.
So this is a quote from her. She said, I saw her car, and then I remembered that Easter weekend was coming up. We had planned to stuff some balloons, and maybe that's what she was doing there. Maybe like I came in early just to let's get a big balloon a big ballooning in at once and then we can relax. So I didn't really think much anything until I walked inside the store, I called her name a couple times and I figured she'd just pop her head out. She didn't. I came behind the counter. All of her things were there, her drawings, her pocketbook, her car keys, and then I just kind of freaked out. I knew that something was wrong, so I ran out across the street to a restaurant and I asked them to call the police. So, yeah, just something's not right here. The box is knocked over. And she doesn't, and if you're a young woman going into a store, you're not like, hey, motherfucker, who's here? Like, you're probably like, oh, shit, if something happened to her, someone could be here and I'm next. Right. So, peace out. I'd do the same shit if I'm her. So, they get here pretty quick, the cops, by the way. It's a small town. Nothing much is going on. So, especially on a Wednesday morning or whatever, Thursday morning. So, they pop in and they look closer because she just saw boxes knocked over, but they look at certain things and they see some evidence of a struggle here.
Oh,
number one, knocked over boxes.
Yeah,
number
that's a good clue.
Two, shoe markings, like scuff marks.
Oh, scuffs
on the back door. So they find that.
Okay.
Yeah, or somebody was being dragged too. They found also like scuff marks on the floor too from shoes.
That's very. They keep it real professional around here because the pizza place I worked at, when we took out the trash, we literally kicked the. Yeah. There was shitloads of scuff marks on that door.
No, I think
the cops saw that. You're like, oh my god, they kidnapped everybody.
I think there's also on the back door shoe marks too, on the back of the door, like outside.
Oh,
the door, too.
outside. Yeah,
so that's another thing.
Yeah.
So there is also a small amount of blood in the storeroom as well that they find.
Uh-oh.
So like that's not great. It's better than finding a large amount of blood.
Small amount's good. Yeah.
But if we're going better or worse,
yeah,
it's better. The cash register completely undisturbed.
Oh.
You could balance it out from the night before and it matched.
Zero's out.
Zero's out. So that's interesting. So they don't think it's a robbery, obviously. People wouldn't leave a pocketbook, a car, and a cash register with money in it. There's like $100-something in it. There's no reason. So they spend hours. They basically do a fan out around the store and look in all of the like Westfield River, in marshes, in any spot that they know of that's like, here's a spot with like a depression or like here's where you could toss somebody or whatever. So they look everywhere all around, and they also have a helicopter everybody's on. I mean, they spend the whole day looking for her, and they find nothing. Nothing.
Not a thing?
Not a thing. They find nothing. There's no trace of her on the outside of the store.
I mean, we've got all of her things, so we just need her, really.
Yeah, and that's what kind of sucks. At least if her car was missing, look for her car.
You look for the car, right.
It's a lot easier to find a car than a person.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Tough stuff.
One of the cops said there was an assault that took place in the store to gain some kind of control over Lisa. There's also a side door, and the side door led to an alley that they probably went out the side door and just pulled the car out and left from there. So somebody pulled up into the alley.
Yeah.
So they talk about customers who were there last night. Let's talk about them. One was from a person who'd been there at 8:20 p.m. and made a purchase and had a time-stamped receipt. So
8:20 p.m.
Lisa's alive and fine at 8:20. We know
40 minutes before closing time.
40, yeah, and she's not only alive and well, typing up,
jamming,
pumping in fucking numbers. She's pumping shit out. She's selling things. So there was nothing unusual there. They said there was nothing that was out of line. Nothing, piqued their attention and said that they should call the police. The person that was there, they said everything seemed fine in the store. The second person was a customer who had gone in at 9 p.m. Imagine, so right as we're closing, you couldn't have needed a balloon at 7, you fucking asshole. Right. And this was a woman at 9 p.m., and she said that the store was open, the lights were on, but nobody was in there.
Okay.
She said that she heard some noise in the back room, though. So she said someone must have been there, but when I called out, hello, nobody answered me, but I did hear a banging noise.
And then you left? You fucking, not only did you show up at closing time, you left after hearing a scuffle?
Well, she said she heard banging noises and shit. Yeah. She thought people were like stocking and moving stuff around because they were about to close, because she knew she came in at 9 o'clock. She knows she's an asshole, this lady. She knows what she did.
This is all on me. All right.
She knows what she did.
I'll come back tomorrow.
So she heard some shit banging around and nobody answering, and she took that as like, I guess they're not going to help me because it's 9 o'clock. The store's closing, so I guess I'm out. Yeah. She said she waited a minute. Nobody came out, so she left.
Huh.
She took off. So that means that she heard Lisa being...
She heard it happening.
Assaulted and being detained in the back there. Right. So she was in this. Imagine how shitty you'd feel.
Horrible.
If you knew that something was happening there and you were there and did fucking nothing about it. So we know that she was at least there at 9 o'clock p.m. Right. So further investigation reveals that they believe that she had been horizontal at the floor, and there were 2 kick marks from her shoes at the bottom of the door. Oh. So this isn't like kick when you do that. This is at the bottom of the door and it's flat. So there's yes.
Whole footprint at the bottom means you are on the ground. Yeah.
You're trying to kick the door open to get attention, or that was probably the banging she heard.
Or get away. Yeah.
That was because when someone said hello, and if she's being restrained, the only way, if you kick the door a couple times trying to get attention, I'm back here. Right. But no one is going to go, I'll go in the back storeroom of this place. Would you do that? Yeah. Would you do that, or would you take it as fuck you?
Employees only. I can't.
I can't come. I'm sorry. I'm leaving now.
It says authorized personnel. I don't think I'm authorized.
I'm not even allowed to use the bathroom, it says here. That's for employees only.
No public bathroom.
I can't do it. So, and I don't think if I just heard banging, I would take that as like, go fuck yourself. It's 9 o'clock. Leave.
Yeah.
You know? I guess
they're banging telling me to leave.
Yeah, that's how I would take it. I mean, that's just me. I'm like, no one wants me here. I should go. You know what I mean?
My money is not important. They just want me out.
No shit. So another tip comes in from a witness who worked near the card shop here, worked near Brittany's. This person said at 9:15 p.m. on that night, this woman was on her way home, and she saw what they may believe could possibly be the killer's car or the kidnapper's car or whoever the fuck's going on's car. She said she saw what appeared to be a man and a woman to be struggling in the back seat. Now, there's going to be a lot of people, or she originally, I think, says there's 3 people in the car. She said it looked like 2 men and a woman. And then she says maybe it was 1 man and a woman. So for a long time, there's a lot of people who don't know if it's 2 people or 1 person that did this. So there's a lot of that's going to really cause a lot of confusion later on. So, but that's what she said. She said the car had been pulled off the road and about a mile away from the card shop.
From the card shop? Okay. Yeah.
And she thought it was just a carload of teenagers fucking around and drove on. That was her thought. Nobody wants to look into anything. You know what everybody's doing, though? They're minding their own business, which I can't be.
This is your fault, James.
No. This is still better. This is still good. Because what's going to happen if she pulls over? Is she going to fucking thwart
she makes
the whole
this
thing?
her business? Ugh.
Yeah, and now there's 2 people in the back of the car with this psychopath.
Yeah.
That's not good. He's like, oh, good, I got 2. Great.
Look at me. It's raining gals.
Yeah, it's raining broads over here. So the vehicle is a late model, full-size Bronco or Blazer, either dark red or dark blue. That's what she says. So by the next day, after they don't find her on the 16th, they're starting to become pretty certain that she's a victim of some kind of foul play. Judging by the scuff marks, the blood, and the fact that she disappeared and doesn't have a purse with her or a car or anything.
Yeah.
So they widen the search, with officers searching the banks of the Westfield River and traveling 60 miles into Connecticut to interview anybody with ties to Lisa at all.
Is that right?
Anybody, yeah. So they're just, they're really grasping, and that's
casting a big net. Yeah.
That's the next day. So by the 18th of April, the day after that, 2 days after she's not there, police announced that she has been kidnapped and that they have narrowed the time frame of her disappearance to between 8:21 and 9:05 p.m. Because 8:21 was the timestamp of that receipt.
Right, yeah.
And so they know that, and then 9:05, they figure that is when that woman left the store, sometime in there. They add that there could be a connection between her disappearance and an attempted kidnapping reported in West Springfield, which is right next door.
Right there, yeah.
On April 9th, a few days earlier. So the rest of the week goes by. Friday goes by. It's Good Friday. Nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Saturday comes. Nothing. Then Easter Sunday comes. So Easter Sunday, there's a man hiking with his dog.
Oh, no.
The smile that warms a room and a man walking with his dog are two bad things. Bad things happening.
Crazy that she's kidnapped on, was it Good Friday?
She's kidnapped a couple days before Wednesday. I think she was kidnapped. But this guy, it's a very muddy path in the woods. This is a couple miles from the gift shop, but deep in the woods in the mud. He tripped over the body of someone, a human being, and it was Lisa that he trips over.
Not looking where he's walking at all.
Nope, tripping over fucking bodies and shit. That's
oblivious.
I've heard so many weird stories like that. Have you ever heard the Ted Bundy story?
No.
About somebody tripping over his body while he
his
was right
body?
there.
His body?
He was in the woods. He had killed somebody, and he heard people coming. And it was dark in the woods, so he just kind of tried to cover the body up with leaves quick and went and hid in a bush off to the side because people were coming down the fucking down the path. And it was a young couple. And it turns out it was Harrison Ford, actually.
What?
Yes, it was Harrison Ford. That's the weird thing. He was walking, and as they were walking, it was a young couple. They tripped over his body that he had there. But it's
were
so
they running
dark
from a boulder, James? I don't believe any of this.
Ted Bundy told it, and then later on, Harrison Ford said that was me. So that's how it came up. So Ted Bundy said this happened, though. He said somebody tripped over the body, but it was so dark they just thought it was like a root or a stump or something. Didn't know, or even a deer or whatever the fuck it was, and they kept walking. And he was off to the side like, oh, fuck. And then he went out and took the body.
There's a one man on the planet that's more handsome than me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look at that guy.
Look at the charisma on this guy. He's
amazing.
He's fighting the Empire. He's fucking running from boulders.
Guy lot.
This guy could be president. Don't fuck with his plane. I'll tell you that right now.
Did you hear his voice? So fucking iconic. He's wow.
And you'll never catch him. You'll never catch him if he's trying to run from you. So, that's
amazing.
After 2 p.m., her body was found. This is about 300 yards off of Route 75, which less than a mile from the card shop.
And this guy was walking a dog?
He's walking his dog, yeah.
And the dog didn't see it either.
Didn't notice it. Just tripped over it. He doesn't, apparently it's not like a hunting dog or anything.
Yeah.
So
Just a dummy.
The cop said that she is partially clad, meaning Lisa. She had on a pair of boots and some of her clothing had been pulled down, including a denim skirt that had been torn. And it was torn not on a seam.
Oh, just anger rip.
Yes. So they're going, this has to be a pretty good-sized, strong person. She's tiny.
Right.
She's 5'2", 120 pounds. I mean, she's a small young girl, young lady.
Hulk Hogan
and
rip of a skirt.
Somebody just, tore a skirt like that.
Wow.
So they said that was bad and pulled down, and there are signs of sexual assault, including blood and semen on the denim skirt that they're going to find here.
Jesus.
So as they removed her body and other things from the scene, they found buttons. They found a blood-soaked white blouse that they think the buttons came from, like it was torn off of her, and the denim skirt torn in half. So it was ripped off of her.
All the way up the waistband,
not at
too.
the seam, though. Yeah, not
Right.
at the seam. Just torn like the Hulk got a hold of it. Not Hulk Hogan, Hulk, the fucking green guy.
The green one, yeah.
Yeah. They said that this was very brutal, and the fact that the skirt was not torn along the seams suggested this had to be a very powerful person that did this, and obviously a man.
Rageful person. Somebody's mad.
Oh, I don't know who has that much rage and a boner at the same time. That much
Right.
rage and a boner is a weird
It's
thing
dangerous.
to walk around
Yeah.
with. If you see someone raging with that in their pants,
Right.
report them because there's going to be problems
Denim-ripping
later.
rage. Wow.
And this is an out of the way area. I mean, it's a mud trail. Like you have to be from around here. So they said this has to be a local. Nobody would be driving through and know to come here.
Yeah.
No one would know this was here. So it's interesting. They found that because everybody in town always wants to think it's a drifter because they probably drifted in, did this, and then what? Drifted out is what they're hoping for.
Right.
And
they want it to, whatever the ending is, they need it to be something that makes their place safer when this is over. They need to be gone.
It can't be Bob from
No.
work. You know what I mean? Because that'll freak people
I'll
the fuck
never
out.
sleep again.
No. So they look at her wounds, and they said that between the crime scene and her wounds, it suggested a real long and violent fight between these two because they clearly fought in the storeroom, and then they clearly fought in the store, and they said out here it looked like they were fighting too.
Right.
So
Tough gal.
her hands were covered in deep defensive wounds, knife wounds. So she fought a lot and hard, like a lot of defensive wounds. So she did not give up. She had stab wounds around her shoulder and throat, inches long and some more than an inch deep.
Good Lord.
And another knife wound to her upper left leg. And they said total of 9, they believe 9 stab wounds total, possibly 8 to 9. They can't quite tell. Her denim skirt and her blood-soaked blouse were pulled down toward her ankles. Yeah. The cuts on her hands led the detectives to believe that she really fought hard here and did not go easy. And the autopsy believed that the autopsy confirms that she was sexually assaulted as well. And because they discover foreign DNA, human blood, and sperm cells all over her body and clothing.
Wow.
So
this guy doesn't know shit about shit.
No.
He's reckless and vicious.
And in 92, if you weren't like keeping up with scientific journals and shit, you didn't know a fucking thing about DNA.
Right.
Nobody knew anything in the mass public. Nobody knew about DNA really until OJ trial. That's when everyone was like, what's this shit? Before that, people had heard they had something, but 92, nobody really knew it.
And if they didn't have to disclose that that's how they caught you in a way for the public to not know about
Christ,
the shit,
people be leaving jizz everywhere for decades.
We caught you and we know it's you. How? Well, we can't tell you, but we definitely know it's you.
We certainly know.
We don't want this to get out and everybody to be aware of it.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, it's great. Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options. Nice. It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So in 1992, DNA technology is there, but this is when you need
it's forever.
You need a half gallon of blood to fucking get a DNA profile. Like it's not very good yet, but we know it exists and we can do profiling and we can narrow shit down.
Yep.
You know, a little bit. You know what I mean?
We can certainly exclude people.
Exactly, and a little bit better than just by blood type, which was we were doing before, which two people have common blood type. It excludes nothing. It's stupid. So the town's reaction, they lose their fucking ever-loving, godforsaken minds. Yeah. And they're like, oh, my God, we're in a fishbowl with a murderer. That's what all of them think. It's here is the director of religious education at the church. So this is a woman that knew Lisa for a long, long time. Sure. Lisa used to babysit her kids, and then they worked at the church on Sundays and all that. So she says, I've just called all the children's parents and told them. I can't imagine what's running through a child's mind, but probably the same as everyone else. Fear and disbelief and anger. She said that Lisa used to be a carefree teenager who would babysit for my kids, and she was great with kids, and, this is horrible. And even she would drive her youngest kid to school with her because she taught at the school and the kid went to school. So she'd pick up her neighbor's kid and take the kid to school with her even.
So nice they called all the children and ruined their lives?
Yes, called all the children's parents
Okay,
that she taught catechism to.
Yeah.
And
hey,
told
your teacher's
them.
not going to be there ever again. How about we just say
Butchered.
she moved to Peru?
Butchered. Denim skirt torn in half, covered in semen and down by her ankles. Butchered. 8, 9 knife wounds. Horrible.
Hand-torn denim. So eat your green beans.
It's Cody's birthday on Friday, so there's going to be cupcakes. Anyway, so
no balloons.
No balloons, though, but, maybe bring a card. So this spread throughout the town, young women and around the surrounding communities, too, like self-defense classes, like tripled in size. All these women were looking for mace. They were walking into stores going, where can I get mace?
Right.
They're like, you need like a license for that shit. Like,
Go get a shotgun permit.
Yes. People started locking their doors and freaking out and all this type of shit here. So then there was a problem. They thought another woman was missing here.
Oh my God.
After that. And so people started freaking out and wouldn't open the door at all. Here's a woman named Carol Zoka of 1317 Suffield Street. She refused to open the door for an employee of Bay State Gas Company because she was frightened by the news of the slaying. And she said, I can't open the door. I usually live here with doors unlocked, but no more. So she won't even open for the gas guy. She knows the guy. Ted, I'm sorry. I can't. You could murder me. I don't know.
They shut me off. I can't even cook.
Holy shit. They say here from the newspaper, at Mitch's home and garden place on Suffield Street, 21-year-old Chris Finn said she gets chills every time she drives by the spot where Zeigert's body was found. The sales clerk said everyone who comes into the store is talking about the homicide. Really? That's weird.
Is that right?
The last homicide happened here, by the way, in like 1988 or 89, where some stepfather beat like a toddler to death. Which is bad, but
that's horrific. But it's not near as
you're not scared of it. Doesn't scare you as an adult person who's not in this guy's care.
He's a frustrated guy that's tired of making mac and cheese, and that kid pissed him off, and
something like that.
And he's a terrible father. But that's not a
even
sex crazed murderer. Yeah,
this is a kidnapping rapist murderer. This is terrifying.
Well, so bad.
It's really, really scary. So they said that the thing that scares them the most also is that the police said that the killer is well acquainted with the area and may even be a resident of town. They're like, how could this be possible?
Oh, boy.
How could it be possible? Robert Landers, a resident, said, I'm very concerned. I have 4 daughters here myself, and we have a killer on the loose. A killer on the loose. They said another guy, Kerry Blackack, a junior at the high school, said, nobody is going anywhere at night. We're too scared. I don't believe we have a drifter here, said one resident. I've lived here my whole life, and I've never even known about that field. So,
wow, you got to be mad entrenched.
Super local. Yeah.
Generations local.
That's fucking, are you local? You don't know how local I am. Great outdoors.
Buddy, you don't know how local I am.
Great outdoors, chick about to get a pool cue in her ass level of local. So ladies want weapon. They said the demand for mace, handguns, and other self-protection has increased like crazy since they found the body. A guy who owns one of these stores said it's been hard to keep up with the demand. The killing has reminded the entire community of its own mortality. Wow.
You guys are all just going around rose-colored glasses taken every day for granted? That's a great life, man.
The weapons that are in demand, mace, obviously, which is chemical spray.
Sure.
Pepper spray, which is weak mace, essentially.
Yeah, you spray that on a tortilla.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not as hot as ghost pepper, but okay. James Taylor, who took time from his busy songwriting schedule.
What?
And fucking all that kind of shit of writing very boring songs that make me want to murder myself.
What did
hang myself. Here he is. He talks about he's the president of the Massachusetts Gun Owners Association.
So not that James. All right.
He was, different guy. He took time out of that to, of course, be the head of that, because that James Taylor would definitely be the president of the Massachusetts Gun Owners Association. Gun Owners Action League.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. They sound like they shoot people. Yeah, they were looking for an acronym. They said, this guy said handgun permits have gone through the roof. Yeah. And also, people want paint guns, which I don't understand why.
Paintball guns or just
paintball guns? No, paintball guns.
Yeah,
they want.
Yeah. Well, James, those are.
They
I
hurt,
want one
but
real. Yeah,
not enough.
Freeze them, James.
If you really want to murder somebody.
Well, yeah, if they've got a gun, you're fucked.
If they really want to murder you, you shoot them with a paintball gun. They're going to look and go, "It's fucking paint, you motherfucker!" And then they're going to come over and be really pissed off.
Now they're going to torture you.
Yeah, but they said that this paint might be able to help identify a person who attacked them later on.
That's genius. I didn't even think about that.
Covered in paint. No, I didn't either. Yeah. That's interesting. Now, the problem is there's other incidents since this has happened as well.
Yeah.
People have started reporting incidents that have happened in the last month or so to them before the murder and after the murder. They receive more than 20 calls daily, the police, from and also a lot of other people with a lot of complaints about people being followed, women saying they've been harassed.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. This is a sergeant here with the police force, said a lot of women are reporting something they blew off a week or two ago where they felt they were being followed or attacked. And now they're like, oh, shit, maybe this is the guy.
Yeah.
An Agawam woman who lives near Lisa's Beldencourt apartment said she was followed by an unknown man as she drove home one night. Okay. Then April 9th, a woman reported she was followed after driving from New England Health and Racquet Club in West Springfield. She pulled into a gas station, and the man did not pursue her. So he might have just been going the same direction, and then you pulled in there, and he continued on home. Or he was following you. You pulled into a public place smartly, and he left. Yeah. That's possible. But after she left the station, he saw her when he was traveling in the opposite direction, turned around and began following her again.
Oh, my God.
So that's not good on Route 20. So the woman pulled into a restaurant on Route 20. That's the great. You'd think, gas station, maybe he was just, pulled off into a restaurant here and get out of her car. He pulled in and got out of his car too and grabbed her and threatened to kill her if she screamed. So this guy was fucking after her, man.
He seriously was following her. How about that?
He said, I'll kill you if she screamed. But the thing is, restaurant people saw this was happening in the parking lot and fucking ran outside.
Hell you go.
And the guy ran away. There was like 8 guys ran outside. Leave that fucking lady alone. We'll kick your ass. And he was like, oh,
problem,
shit.
Dude. Yeah.
He ran away. So they said that they didn't. The sergeant said that he does not know why police failed to release the information about the attempted abduction earlier. He said it may have been a clerical error.
Yeah.
But it might have helped. That sucks.
Right. And how about none of those people that interrupted that shit had a look-see at a tag?
Anything. A tag.
No license plate?
Nothing. Was it a SUV? Was it a Bronco Blazer type vehicle?
Perhaps a original SUV? Nothing?
Jennifer Collins, an employee of Healthy Habits Health Club in Agawam, where this is where Lisa exercised, by the way, her gym.
Club membership,
reported that a man used to visit the juice bar of the all-women's club.
What the fuck, dude?
He's like, the ratio here is outstanding. Let me tell you something.
The acai here is the best in town. That's why I'm here. It's not the pussy.
Guys, if there's an all-women's thing, it's because they don't want you around. That's why.
It's women that don't feel safe around us, guys, and stop fucking it up.
Well, you don't want to feel like, and I get it. I can understand why a guy would want to work out with all guys, too. You don't want to be like, look, if I'm trying to do this, I don't want to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then there's also creepiness of the whole thing. Who knows? So, and then some people go to the gym because they like to meet people there. So you don't know. But these ladies are going not to meet guys. We can
They're
be
tired
assured of that.
Meeting guys.
Tired. They've met all the guys they're looking to meet here.
They're done with it.
So that this guy used to visit this. The man never approached or bothered any of the women, but the woman who ran it said that she felt like it was strange that the guy just would pop up and kind of just hang out with all the women. But he has not visited the club since April 14th, which is the day before Lisa disappeared. Right. That's the last visit he made there, which is very weird. I'm
so glad all businesses have fucking cameras now.
Yeah, and none of these places had cameras. No, the restaurant, Brittany's, none of the shit had cameras.
When I was robbed at gunpoint, no cameras.
Yep, that's right. And then the director of the health club, and this is talk about sweeping under the rug. No, it's safe. Because an employee said, we're all creeped out by this guy. The director of the health club, who refused to give his name, by the way.
A fella,
He denied that a man had come into the club repeatedly at all. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
These broads are crazy. They don't know nothing. Don't listen to them.
It's perfectly safe around here. Get in here and buy a membership. $39.95 a month.
Come on in. Yeah. By the way, that'll never go away. No matter. I don't care. You could
price forever.
You could break your neck. Yeah. You could be just a head sitting on a chair. You still got to pay. Sorry, you got to pay. Not our fault. It's
going to ruin your life.
It's going to ruin your fucking life. I'm sorry. So April 20th now, 5 days after this, a man tries to abduct a 13-year-old girl.
Okay.
Near here, in South Hadley. This was approximately 8 p.m. The man grabbed a girl and pulled her into his car through the driver's side window.
Wow.
Which is...
Pulled up and grabbed her?
And started driving with her hanging out the side probably, and then yanked her in the window.
Like a drive-through.
Yeah, like I'll take 2 double cheeseburgers and an 8-year-old.
And a 13-year-old, please.
Yeah, and a 13-year-old.
Can I get a chocolate, what is it, Frosty? Yeah.
Yeah, and a Frosty. He released the girl, though, and drove off. I guess thinking, wow, that was a crazy thing I just did.
I can't get her through the window because she's kind of big.
Yeah. She'd been dropped off to visit a friend where this attempted abduction occurred. Police did not think this incident was related to Lisa's abduction. Yeah, they said they were still interviewing the girl. They don't know. They described the car as small or mid-sized white vehicle. Okay. She described the man as white, 25 to 30 years old, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, wore a red baseball cap, and had a scruffy face. With several days of beard growth, and he may have a scar over his left eyebrow.
Okay.
So there's that. April 21st, also a University of Massachusetts junior was stabbed as well in the parking lot of the Hampshire Mall. They're saying this is the most widely publicized homicide since that one.
Just stabbed up and left? No sexual assault?
I think we talked about this, maybe on a bonus episode.
I think we did.
We did, because I know Sharon Galligan was the name.
That sounds familiar.
Sounds really familiar. Stabbed to death in the parking lot of the Hampshire Mall after finishing her Christmas shopping on December 18th. Her body was found the next day inside her car, 6 parking spots from the mall's main entrance.
Yep.
I feel like
that's it, yeah.
They theorized that she worked at the by the way, this is the weird part, is that 20-year-old Galligan worked at a balloon shop in the mall.
Oh, my God.
So they're like, this is what the fuck is going on.
Same profession?
Same profession. They thought that they think that she had fought off a sexual attack, and that's why she was killed, basically. Mm-hmm. Which, 3 years later, you might go, okay, you injure, sexually attack, then kill. That's how they might have
before. Yeah,
they might have gotten their whole
lined up their MO right now.
Got their game down a little better.
Been better. Yeah.
So they devoted hundreds of hours to the case, interviewing known sexual offenders and studying similar crimes nationwide. Yet at that point, the case remained open and no charges were brought against anybody.
Okay.
So other unsolved crimes in the area: Millie Hart Rivera, a 23-year-old Amherst woman, found stabbed to death along a wooded stretch of Route 202 in Holyoke in 1988. Mm-hmm. Police believe a Holyoke factory worker picked her up as she hitchhiked outside a bar and stabbed her to death. Her body was nude when found and sexually assaulted as well. Mm. Due to lack of witnesses and physical evidence, no charges were ever brought against that man. Okay. Shayna Price, 17, of Springfield, was found strangled, beaten, and sexually assaulted in Blunt Park on Christmas night, 1990. So the holiday thing is weird, too, around holidays. 15 months later, police still said they didn't have a suspect or anything like that. One detective said investigators tried to track Price's steps in her final hours to determine whether drugs or prostitution played a role in the case. They believe she may have been killed somewhere else and dumped in the park. Also, the body parts of an unidentified woman were found in Warwick on June 24th, 1988, about a mile and a half from the center of town. The arms, legs, and torso of a white woman were found by a motorist near a rest stop off Route 78.
Oh, God.
And
imagine that.
They said despite efforts by investigators and anthropologists from UMass, the woman's name, age, and cause of death still were a mystery.
Good Christ. I don't want to live anywhere near here.
No, this is terrifying down here.
What is happening?
And then an Agawam woman says she was stalked for 2 months. Mm-hmm. Susan Reddington, okay, this is a woman. She said she was stalked for 2 months before being confronted by a man who was following her, Then basically, the man is following her. She pulled over. She got out to like confront the guy, and he tried to attack her. So she ran away into a cornfield to get away from him.
Oh God, that's the beginning of a horror movie every time.
And that's where cops, because he was like, I can't run away, leave my car on the side of the road and chase this woman down. So that's where cops found her, was in a fucking cornfield. And they said they were investigating her story, and they said that they don't believe there's a connection with the murder, though.
We got a lot of crazies out here, evidently.
We got all sorts of crazies. She had said that she stopped at 12:30 a.m. to try to get the man's car registration number. He confronted her. She kicked him and attempted to knee him in the groin, then fled into the cornfield to escape him. She's big. She's like 6'2", 200 pounds, this woman, too.
And took a self-defense class, evidently.
Yeah. She tried to, she's not fucking around.
Or had brothers.
She ran 300 yards into the dark and ended up, it's pitch black out there because it's midnight. She ran into a tree limb and knocked herself unconscious, and that's where the police found her, bleeding and freaking out in a cornfield.
Wow, lucky they found her first.
Yep, and they do have a suspect, which, look, here's the suspects. They don't have they have a sketch.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
It looks like an 1800s Englishman, basically. It's like sideburns with like a bowler on. It's very strange.
Looks like Adam Carolla in a timepiece.
Yeah, from the 1800s.
Yeah.
So they have Lisa's funeral, and it's at the Colonial Funeral Home. They've already raised $5,000 in reward money from donations from local businesses and community organizations, for information leading to the arrest of her killer. More than 16 investigators, including all 8 members of the town's police department. The whole department's 8 people.
All 8.
Their detective bureau, I'm sorry, are assigned to the case. The FBI is also assisting in the investigation, and so is the Connecticut State Police too, since it's so close to the border. Yeah. Basically, here everybody shows up at her memorial. They have on April 23rd, more than 800 people attended her funeral.
Oh my God,
that's a shitload of people, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's fucked up. The weird part, by the way, the Sandra Redding thing in the woods.
Yeah,
that was the strange thing. Was it was on the same road? It was off the same Route 75 that they found her. So when people drove up and saw the highway closed and saw cops and shit, they're like, "Oh my God, there's more bodies off Route 75." So that spread insane rumors through town. Then they found out it was a woman and a guy, may have tried to abduct her. Then people freaked out even more, even though the cops said this has nothing to do with it. So it's pretty wild. The one policeman said, "We want to make it very clear there's no tie to the Agawam case.
There's no 75 murderer. Stop it."
No, done with that shit. They also said it took this woman, the unconscious lady in the cornfield, took rescue crews 50 minutes to wrap her in blankets and carry her stretcher 300 yards to the ambulance.
Oh, dodging cornfield stuff?
Yeah, through a cornfield. It's not an easy place to carry a fucking stretcher.
Yeah.
So there is Detective Mark Pfau, I guess, Pfau. Pfau?
Okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah, he was the main guy working the case from the start, of Lisa's case anyway. He said plenty of calls and leads are coming in, but nothing is panning out at this point. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. The first person they're really going to look hard at is, who do you think? Yeah. Her fucking boyfriend, obviously. Yeah. So there's rumors, by the way. These are all the rumors flying around town.
All right. This should be fun.
This is a big rumor that Blair, the boyfriend, had murdered her after she caught him and his roommate, Ed, fucking each other. She walked in on him cornholing Ed. And
poor Blair.
So he went there and fucking murdered her.
Raped and murdered a woman when he's attracted to men. Okay.
I'll show you how gay I'm not. Yeah. No, I don't think that happened here. But the main...
he's obviously a top because he can rip jeans.
He can tear them, yeah. You should see Ed's jeans. He has not a pair left intact. No, but the problem with this was Ed, his name is Ed Borgatti, the roommate. Yeah. Ed Borgatti's father was a retired police detective, so everybody around town said that's what it was, and Ed's father was helping cover it all up.
For heaven's sake,
so
you guys.
People are always looking for a conspiracy.
That's a deep cut, man.
Yes, that's what. But his detective father doesn't want anybody to know that this guy was cornholing his kid, and so that's what the whole thing is. The murder of a young woman is covered up to protect a tryst between a couple of roommates.
Wow,
little bit far fetched.
Truly, yeah,
a little bit. Now, at the same time, the boyfriend, has an alibi because he has a CVS drugstore receipt.
Attaboy.
For like between the time,
yeah.
Right in the window of the time that wouldn't have given him time to get there.
Right.
But they could not rule anybody out, so they started to also search out for several health club members that said that there was a guy that used to stare at Lisa while she worked out before she joined this gym.
Yeah.
So another thing, a key had been missing from her keychain, by the way.
Oh?
So detectives tried to match various suspects' keys to Lisa's apartment door. So one of the things, whenever they talked to hundreds of suspects, and one of the things they'd say is, "We need your keys."
Let me see your
and
keys.
While they were talking to him, they'd take their keys and go try all his keys out on Lisa's apartment door to make sure that wasn't her fucking key. So that's smart to do.
Yeah, not bad.
One person reported, the lady who was in the store reported hearing the sounds coming from the back room at night. And then there's a woman who said they saw a struggle in a car, and that was on the way to and not very far from where her body was found.
Oh, Jesus.
She saw that. So that's two people that could have saved her and minded their own business, unfortunately. So detectives here were able to rule out the boyfriend. Number one, he confirmed his alibi, and he gave any kind of bodily sample that they asked for happily, and they ruled him out with DNA. His DNA did not match the DNA of the killer. So
deal with it.
Deal with that shit. I didn't cornhole my roommate. Well, maybe I did, but that doesn't mean I'm a murderer.
Dead, but I ain't a murderer.
I'm not a fucking murderer. Although Ed will tell you I murdered that ass because that's how good I am. So at that point now, they're talking about other suspects. Well, who can we do? So they use DNA testing to eliminate any close male friends, relatives, or acquaintances. Whoever she hangs out with.
Nobody she knows.
It's no one she knows well, or nobody that at least someone she didn't, her friends and family say she knows well. Right. Yeah. So they talk to other suspects. They find the man who visited the juice bar. They find They find
Acai
Juice
man.
Creep. Yep, acai creep. He was the guy seen staring at her on several occasions also, and he was cleared out from DNA. He's ruled out. Also, a second man who they found, there was a car wash. Somebody reported the night of the murder at a 24-hour do-it-yourself car wash, seeing a man with throwing out a piece of carpet at the car wash and cleaning inside of his car. And they found that guy. He came forward and said, "That was me. I didn't kill anybody. This is my car. You can check it out. Do a DNA test." But I'm the guy
on that mat. I got new mats.
I'm the guy with the fucking carpet. That's not me. So they ruled him out as well. So they thought that was a really good lead, and it got to nothing.
Turns to be nothing.
Then they figure out, authorities in Florida say, "Hey, you might have a connection to us here."
What?
In addition to a lot of snowbirds coming down this way, we also have another issue. The abduction occurred 2 days, this Lisa's abduction occurred 2 days before the 10th anniversary of a case in Florida that was exactly the same.
Really?
Yes, this is the disappearance of Lynn Burdick, who is a high school senior who vanished while working alone at a Florida variety store on the Mohawk Trail.
Similar thing, yeah.
2 days from the 10th anniversary of the exact day of this happening.
And she went on Good Friday.
Close, yeah.
Or, Easter
around
changes,
there.
so nobody would know. Yeah.
We don't know. Could have been March that year.
Yeah.
They said the thing that caught their attention was that the shop lights were left on and the door open in that one as well.
Yeah.
In that case as well. Despite a search for more than 100 people, she was never seen, and they ended up boarding up that store in Florida. They said that, this is from a newspaper, although dilapidated and boarded up, the former Barefoot Peddler variety store reminds residents here that the worst crimes can happen anywhere. They said it was from this little wooden country store at the corner of Central Shaft Road and the Mohawk Trail that Lynn Burdick, an 18-year-old McCann Technical High School student doing part-time work behind the counter, was abducted. Her brother came to the store and found an open door. The only difference is there was $187 taken from the cash register here.
Oh, it's a little robbery, too.
How'd they make $187 selling crap on a fucking trail here? I don't know. But the search for Lynn continued for months and months and months. She's never found.
Wow.
She was never found. She was dumped somewhere. And in Florida, too, she could have been fed to the gators. We have no fucking idea.
Fast. Yeah, the mosquitoes can eat her.
Yeah, it's down there. Yeah, absolutely. So they said that there was no windows and the one-room store was detached and alone then. So they also think the possibility that Lynn may have run away and not been abducted as well.
Okay.
Yes, but one of the cops said she didn't run away. You had to know this girl. She was such a sweet kid. So they think she was murdered. Then again, though, a former longtime police chief down there says, I still say the girl is alive. I've always thought that. He thinks she ran away.
Really?
Very strange. He thinks she took $187 and fucking jetted.
lived her life.
So back up to Brittany's card and gift shop. May 6th, 1992, so less than a month after this happens, the Joseph O'Neill, who owns the shop, said he plans to permanently close the shop on May 30th. Going to close it down. He said it's grief over the death and the fact that that's all people. It's just a spectacle now. Everyone's just coming to. They're not buying anything.
For a lot of looky-loos. The next 30 years, everybody is going to drive by and go, remember when that lady disappeared from there and then was found horribly beaten and murdered?
Remember that? Anyway, what do you got for balloons? What do you got for Mylars right now?
Even just passing it in the car. Yeah, Dad, we know.
Yeah, we know. Again. Hey, right here, I know, Dad. Yes. I carry pepper spray. Yes, you told me. You taught me how to throw a right hook. I understand. So they also, in June 3rd, 1992, still haven't found her yet. Or they found her, still haven't had any. They don't have any solid suspects.
No leads, yeah.
So they said a community gathering to raise money for her scholarship fund was held. The event was limited to 200 people, and they said they're pushing to have June 6th dubbed Lisa Zaggart Day, which is difficult because June 6th is already a day, isn't it?
Is it a day? I don't know.
Isn't June 6th? Yes, I believe it is.
June 6th? No. Is there anything in June? Is there a holiday in June?
Yes.
Gregorian, I don't know. It doesn't say anything. What is special about June 6th? It's D-Day, James.
D-Day, that's what it is. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it was. D-Day. I knew it was something big. D-Day.
Nothing happened that day,
Nothing happened. I'm like, I think it did. I think we might have invaded an entire continent.
Pretty big thing, Jim. No, nothing. June. There's nothing in June, James.
First big push to beat the Nazis, I believe. So yeah, it's So June 6th,
beaches were occupied that day, Jimmy.
It was a beach day that day. That's all it was. A lot of guys.
It's June. It's summer.
It's summer. A lot of guys going out getting some sun. Fun. It was fun in the sun day that day, Jimmy.
Lots of guys with pails and snorkels, Jimmy.
Yeah. That would have been a different invasion.
Day.
Jesus. So maybe pick a different day for Lisa Day.
Yeah.
Than a day when other people died,
It's also a day marked with like horrible shit.
Yes, and remembrance of a lot of people's sacrifices. Maybe we pick a different day here. So
let's go
7th. Let's go April 15th. It'll cheer people up for taxes. At least there's a nice memory of a nice young lady.
It's a better day, yeah.
Jesus Christ. So they are trying to, raise money for all this. They said there's the Saints from Chicopee will provide musical entertainment.
Okay.
The Saints is the name of the band. They are from Chicopee. They're not called the Saints from Chicopee, which would be a very bad band name.
The Saints of Chicopee.
Chicopee. They said, we want to keep it rolling. We want June 6th to be Lisa Day. I don't know about that. Yeah. He said, I don't see it as an annual thing, but I would like to see it this year.
What do you want? Fucking every 10 years? What do you want?
Yeah. And they're also putting together a scholarship that will contribute to the college education of students from this high school that she went to who want to become teachers.
That's great.
And the school also dedicates a courtyard in her memory as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So the city council approves $35,000 in additional overtime for the police department. Because this isn't like a big city's police department where they have some budget overages and shit. It's a small town, so they have limited money to spend. They can't just go into debt. So the money will allow detectives to work daily double shifts and will allow 2 additional patrolmen to be on the roads during second and third shift. One officer will patrol the Walnut Street extension area and surrounding condominium and apartment complexes, and the second will use the police four-wheel drive vehicle to patrol the dirt roads and remote wooded areas around where she was found.
Wow.
In case there's somebody sneaking back to dump again or somebody, doing whatever.
This better not be a McNulty dump just to get all this overtime.
Yeah, this is a vacant houses shit here, tying red ribbons. They said also this is in response to fears that he might be a resident of the town.
Yeah.
They said, we may have a killer on the loose on the streets, and I want our force to be as visible as possible.
That's love
what
it.
The chief said.
Yeah.
We might have a killer on the loose.
Need him to see black and whites everywhere he looks.
That's right. And they said they also installed a new tip line at the police department, which has generated a flood of calls. They said, we're encouraging anyone with any information, no matter how trivial, to call. Yeah. That could be big. Then there's also a non-abduction as well, that we'll talk about.
Okay.
The director of Healthy Habits, who we talked about, denied published reports that police were interviewing workers there. Remember we talked about the
guy at the gym, yeah.
So the director said, no one has been interviewed here. I wish people would leave us alone. We're innocent, and we've already lost enough business because of this.
We're trying to do burpees. Let us see.
What the fuck here? Jesus Christ. So this is the director saying, no, there was never a creepy guy. There was never anything, even though they talked to the guy and there was a guy and he was cleared. This guy's saying, never, not us.
Never
Leave
happened.
us the fuck alone here. You're ruining our business. January 1993, Noel DeSoloris. Okay. Or Delores, I'm going to say, because it's Des Lories. So Delores.
Oh, like a French spelling. Yeah.
Yes. 22 years old in January 1993. She's a nursing student living with her parents near Longmeadow, and she has been just glued to this investigation. Yeah. It's on the news, every newspaper article. She's a young woman who's in the wheelhouse of this girl, and, a potential victim. So she's wanting to know if they caught the guy or what. So she said she was glued to TV coverage and everything like that. So by January 1993, she was in a patient's house here, working as a home health aide, when a breaking news update came on the television screen. She thought it was maybe about Lisa's case, so she paid attention. Yeah. She learned it was another local case that was unfolding here. Reporters were interviewing a man that said his infant son had been abducted.
Oh.
She said, oh, my God, she told her patient, I know that guy. The father, who was on the news, was a guy named Gary Schara, Schara, who she used to date when they were students at Longmeadow High School in 1986.
So he's a young man, too.
Yeah, same thing. Now, by the way, this woman here, Noelle, her brother is an FBI agent.
Okay.
Actually, one of the agents that worked the Boston Marathon bombing as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. So that's interesting. Now, Gary's born in 1971. We'll talk about here. Now, they talk about this woman here, Noelle, said she remembers first seeing Gary in his junior year, or their junior year. He was fit and athletic. She used to run track, and she was much faster than him. She remembered that. He had just moved to the area from California and didn't have many friends, but they apparently had a mutual love of Agatha Christie novels. Like most high school junior boys, loves Agatha Christie.
I read a bunch of them, but it wasn't. It was just because that's all that was there.
That's what was there. No, he loves them. Goes out and seeks them out.
Riveted.
And they ended up going out for a while because of this. Because obviously Agatha Christie will bring you together.
Agatha Christie got him laid.
Got him a fucking blowjob. Can you imagine?
Unbelievable.
Now, Gary's got an interesting backstory. He was an orphan, foster home to foster home, and then adopted at a young age here. I guess his adopted parents had taken custody of him as a small child after he went to multiple foster homes in California, and the family eventually moved to Massachusetts for his high school years, and that's when she met him here. Now, his inner circle of friends said that he wasn't like a cool guy, quote unquote, Gary.
It's pretty hard to be when you grew up in foster homes.
Well, not only that, he's into Dungeons and Dragons, which we've talked about before, and also really, really into Batman.
Really?
Super into Batman. the comic
80s
books.
Batman. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the comic books, because back then you only had the Adam West Batman and the comic books. That's it.
Right.
There wasn't a cool Batman floating around out there.
Yeah, cool Batman didn't start till 88 or 89?
But he thought of himself like Batman because he was an orphan. His parents were killed. So in his mind, he and Batman have the same origin story, and he tells everybody that. And he acts like
Bruce
he's Batman.
Wayne. Yeah.
He says he's Bruce Wayne, but poor.
Yeah.
He's like entry-level job Bruce Wayne. Minimum wage Bruce Minimum Wayne is what he's called.
He's the Penguin is what he is.
Yes. But he thinks he's Batman. He wears Batman shirts all the time. And this is as he's an adult, too. He's always wearing a Batman T-shirt. So when 89 rolled around, it must have been like heaven for this guy.
Yeah.
Finally, all the Bat merchandise is available. But they said he was a likable guy, decent guy, not a weirdo or anything. He's into sports, was decently athletic, although he never joined any organized teams in high school. But you could get him to play some pickup basketball or something. He wasn't a spaz or anything. His friends said nothing you'd ever consider weird. He didn't smoke cigarettes, didn't drink to excess, didn't use drugs, which is weird in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
To grow up at that time in Massachusetts and not drink booze and smoke cigarettes is a little bizarre. I'm going to be honest with you. He graduated in Longmeadow High School in 1987, and he married a woman named Joyce McDonald. But they will have quite a rocky marriage here. A little bit about Joyce, because you got to know first. You don't know why now, but you need to know a little about Joyce's background.
Sure.
She came from a family of 10 kids.
Oh, boy.
That moved around all the time because their father was a freelance organ and piano business consultant.
Oh, Jesus.
We might as well be a shoe cobbler. What the fuck do you do? Where's the work
Where's
there?
the market for that?
A consultant. And moved the family from state to state. I guess where all the piano consulting was.
Yeah, there's one that sells every year. You got to get to that state where it sells.
How would you know you need an organ and piano business consultant?
Because you bought an old church.
Does he set up pianos? Does he help them figure out how to sell pianos? Does he tune pianos?
Repair?
I don't know. But Gary is always working customer service jobs and just minimum.
It's got to be a lot of school district work. You know what I mean? Because that's where
pianos,
the piano is.
It's either they don't care if those are in tune.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's just some woman with a teacher that just bangs around on it that's not real great, but she makes songs happen.
And Gary, sometimes he works like day jobs, sometimes night jobs. He had a job at Champion Sports Bar in Springfield and Storrow Town Tavern and Wild Apples Cafe.
Yeah, waiting jobs. Yeah,
just bounces around. Anyway, a week after Noelle sees Gary on TV, actually not even a week, a few days, he calls her.
What?
Out of the blue, Gary calls her and asks her out to dinner. And she's
what about
like,
your kid,
isn't your kid abducted? Yeah, I just saw you on the news. Is everything cool with that?
Want to go to Chili's? Not
this
really.
Is so weird. Want to go to Wild Apples? I get a discount. So she's thought it was weird, but she was like, wow, they hadn't seen each other since high school. But she remembered, she always liked him, and they didn't have a bad breakup. He didn't do anything wrong. So just, kid shit. So she said, yeah, what the hell? I'll meet him a few days later at a place in Chicopee, a historical restaurant and banquet hall named Collegian Court in Chicopee. She said when Gary walked in, he was still tall and thin. And when they started to talk, she just realized he seemed like the same kind of shy guy she knew in high school. Same nice guy. Everything was great. During dinner, he pulled out his wallet and showed a photo of his infant son.
Mm-hmm.
Missing. Yeah. This is my missing son. She said, he's so. Yeah, I was going to say, who else? He should be showing it to everybody who can possibly see it.
It shouldn't even be put away yet. It should just be always carrying in his hand.
He should have like a shirt with his picture on it, like in The Wire when someone gets killed. And, So she says, he's so cute. I think it's awful that he's been abducted. I truly hope you're both reunited soon. Why are we sitting here? Why are you out looking for your son? This is nuts. So Noelle said she felt sympathy for him, and she knew that he was trying to rekindle the romance, but she was a little, reluctant to get involved with him again because she thought, this is the best. She thought at the moment he's got a lot of baggage. abducted son and all. But then she's like, I don't know. He's got a lot going on for me. That's kind of too much. Wow. Was
Elizabeth Smart's dad out dating?
I don't think he was in the dating pool. Probably not. So a month later, the mystery of the abduction was solved when police found his son alive and well.
Oh, where?
With his mother, with the boy's mother, Joyce.
What?
Remember Joyce, piano consultant's daughter? Yeah, apparently she just took the baby and went to Seattle. Now, this will make sense in a moment. She did not have custody of this child. As a matter of fact, Gary had full custody. This is a kidnapping.
It's not good.
Yeah, so then this is like, okay, well, at least it's not somebody else abducting somebody. Yeah. So at the same time, though, this, the ex-wife here, Joyce, is talking to the cops saying she needs to talk to them about something. The cops back in our whatever the fuck it is here.
Amway.
Back in Amway, Massachusetts, yeah. So the Joyce, the wife, told her attorney that she suspected Gary may have murdered Lisa.
So I was trying to keep my kid away from him.
She said, that murder case from the store there, I think he did it. She said anytime any news came out, he would be glued to the television. But so did everybody in town. That's the problem with that. They were like, well, that's not that weird. Everybody does that. The guy was one of the cops said, like, my brother and father do that too. It doesn't mean they did it.
Yeah, and the investigator's like, I'm investigating this, and I'm glued to it too. I'm just reporting all the shit I already know, and I know more.
I know more than I'm telling him. The attorney also said he needed to know every single little detail about the murder and progress of the case and catching the murderer. Okay. It seems like a local story that a lot of people would be interested in. Sure. Joyce also knew that Gary had been unaccounted for during the time of the murder.
Oh.
And that he returned late that night home with scratches on his hands and no explanation for his whereabouts.
Uh-oh.
That's interesting. She said he came home in the middle of the night that night when she went missing, and Joyce asked him about, where the fuck have you been, dickhead? We have a new baby and all this shit, or not at the time, but she was probably pregnant. And he couldn't give her a good explanation about where he'd been. She said he'd seemed all amped up that night, too, in the middle of the morning, and she noticed cuts on his hands, and so she called her sister.
Right.
I don't know why she called her sister, or her own sister, but she did. But she said everybody liked Gary. He's a tall guy, has no record, is a good father to his baby. So the cops are like, I don't get it. Like, we're not getting, this guy's a creep or he's had any past
This
run-ins.
feels like an ex-wife and ex-husband feud, and she's just making wild-ass accusations.
Huge accusations. Yeah. Then she said, well, he does do weird stuff in the bedroom.
Okay. Tell me
She said outside the bedroom he might be totally normal, but inside she said he always pushed the envelope, sometimes would hold a knife to her throat as part of role-playing games. Boy. Which that's a weird game.
I don't like that at all.
That's a strange game. Yeah, I don't like crime games like that. No. I don't like
where any accident. Like I slip a lot. You know what I mean?
That's the other thing. I'm clumsy. I'm fucking clumsy. Yeah. That kind of shit. That's like Richie Aprile and Janice when Janice goes. I mean, he unloads the gun most of the time. Right. Most of the time.
A lot of times I can't even keep this thing inside there. So
no, I'm not. I'm not pretending I'm raping him. We're not doing any of that. I'm not doing that. So what does that make me? What's my fantasy? I'm a monster? No.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up.
Escape reality and immerse yourself in a gripping tale of mystery, murder, and romance with June's Journey. Join June as she unravels the truth behind her sister's mysterious death, and use your observation skills to find hidden clues and uncover dark secrets. Plus, you get to explore stunning hidden object scenes, from New York parlors to Parisian sidewalks, as each chapter reveals captivating mysteries. How sharp are your observation skills? Put them to the test in June's Journey. Download for free today on iOS and Android.
Sorry.
I don't want to accidentally hurt you.
No, that's the other thing.
A lot of times I'm accidentally doing things right.
Yeah, I'm not going to fuck this up and everything's going great, and then I stab you in the carotid artery. That's not good. So, anyway, she's very suspicious. She said that would happen, and they play role-playing games, and maybe this was, further.
Yeah.
She also said that in August of that year, 4 months after the murder, they had a big fight, and that the Longmeadow police had visited their home.
Okay.
So she's thinking, she said Joyce was hiding in a bathroom. This is what the police said. Joyce was hiding in the bathroom and refused to come out. She said through the door that she was fine and didn't need medical help, but she wouldn't come out. Police records say this. This is from a cop. Quote, I arrived and spoke with Mr. Shara. He stated he went to Lil Peach with his wife. I assume that's a restaurant.
Yeah.
When they were coming home, they had a fight. He dropped her off at the hill near Barbara Lane and then proceeded home. He dropped her ass off.
Get the fuck out.
She said, just stop the car. And he said, all right, fuck out then. That's what happened.
Unlock. Go ahead.
A few minutes later, Mrs. Shara came in the house screaming. Her blouse was torn and she had a few scrapes on her side. She wouldn't let her husband see her. That's her story. That's his story. That she, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. She came in. I tried to speak to her through the door of the bathroom. She stated she was fine and that nothing happened. I asked to see her, and that she stated that she didn't want to see anybody. She stated she was fine and didn't want any medical treatment. I advised Mr. Shara that if he finds anything else out, to contact the department. If you find out you beat the shit out of your wife, let us know, please. So then, a few months later, in November 1992, that's when the couple split up and the court awarded Gary custody of the son. This is because Joyce is, and everybody says this, her family, friends, is a raging alcoholic. Raging alcoholic. Like, bad
That's usually
alcoholic.
The only way mom's losing custody is if she's got a dependency on something.
She didn't even fight the decision.
Yeah, she's like,
she's a mess. She was probably too drunk to fill out the paperwork. So
she probably didn't show up because she was in a stupor.
You never know. So then January 1993, she got permission for a non-custodial parent visit with her son, who wasn't even 2 years old. She put them both in a cab and they went to the airport and went to Seattle, where she got an apartment near her mother and disappeared from everybody.
Incredible.
So that's who we're talking about. So through her attorney, she makes the claim that she thinks Gary killed Lisa, saying that he had an unusual obsession, like we said. Now, the Agawam police never heard of him before. The Longmeadow police went to the house once, but they never heard of this fucking guy. He has no criminal record. There's no evidence of him being linked to any crime ever. So they were like, oh, shit. And that, by the way, they said, the cops said they take it more seriously, but they said since the beginning of the investigation, detectives were flooded with tips from ex-wives and former girlfriends saying their boyfriend, husband. And it's sometimes it's spiteful, and sometimes they actually think that. They're like, oh, my God, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, right.
And this guy, he did this weird shit, and I didn't realize it till now, and that's what they do. So they said that basically, detectives placed these allegations into that category of look into it, but, it's an ex type of deal.
Also, she kidnapped a kid, so she looks like she's an alcoholic who took a kid 3,000 miles from home. She's a dick.
And might be trying to get custody of the kid a little bit more.
I may be an alcoholic kidnapper, but he's a fucking rapist murderer.
He's a rapist murderer. Yeah, that's what it makes.
Denim-tearing rapist murderer.
So they talked to her family, and even her own family said, I wouldn't take much of what she says seriously.
Did you smell her breath? Yeah.
Her family said long history of alcoholism, and at least one relative said that she was convinced that her relative was just being a, quote, crazy drunk, like always.
Oh, boy.
So this is, can't believe her. There's no No court or police records indicating that Gary mistreated their son or wife. In fact, he was awarded custody. So, interesting. Now, the ex-wife says, but. Yeah. I get that you're saying that, yes, it might have been, he could have been anywhere else on earth that night, but you don't understand. He gave me this.
Oh?
And she presents a music box thing. It's like a carousel with a blue horse in it that plays music. And she said, he gave me this that night. He came home late with this. They sell these at Brittany's.
At the
you understand?
store.
They fucking sell these here.
Boy.
So this is fucked up. He told her that a little old lady with gray hair had sold it to him, and she said she had no reason to doubt the story, but now adding 2 and 2 and 4 and 6 and fucking all this together, we're getting
Lord Calvert multiplied by Jack Daniels
multiplied by bitters equals fucking
and blades to my throat. I'm not real. I don't like it.
Yeah. So this music box, that's that night he came home with this shit. Wow. How weird is that? But Gary's attorney said they're going through a nasty divorce and custody battle, and she's out of her fucking mind. By the way, did we mention she's a huge alcoholic? Smell her breath. Right. So they said, the cop said, at this point, we take it as far as we can, and barring anything else coming in, we don't have enough to get a search warrant or a subpoena to get Gary in and have him give us our DNA. So they don't have any way to compel him to do this. They have they have 100 other people saying my ex-husband did it. Can't, what the fuck? So the same collection of police reports here, they talk about it. Basically, there are people in her family here. Her mother, Joyce's mother, Gary's wife's mother, said that, she's a recovering alcoholic. She's transitioning and back to her surname. She wants a divorce and all this. She's struggled with alcohol abuse, but she's not like crazy. So you might be able to believe her.
Take some of it, yeah.
As the years go by, though, we find some real weird stuff that she does.
Joyce.
Apparently, at one point in 1998, she's shit-faced drunk and locks herself out of her apartment in Seattle.
Sure. That happens. She
lives on the 4th floor and attempted to scale the balconies leading to her apartment.
Drunk.
And clung to a railing as her elderly father, who lived in the same building, tried to get her back in off the porches there and couldn't do it. And she fell to the ground and suffered horrible injuries, but survived.
Wow.
Yes, they said
she was drunk. She flailed.
They said she spent 8 months in a medically induced coma at a specialty hospital.
She landed on her fucking head.
Yeah, she came out of it, but had all kinds of injuries and was always in pain. She kept drinking and taking pain medication and isolating herself from her family. Joyce would eventually die alone in her apartment from alcohol-related problems in 2014. But she basically just added pain meds to her roster of shit now. Now she's an alcoholic who also takes them. So October 27th, 1993, Unsolved Mysteries gives 10 minutes to Lisa's disappearance.
Get after it, Robert Stack.
10-minute segment here, and they say that it raised new questions and offered new details. They said that tons of tips came in, but nothing really added up to anything. Then the second airing of it, March 10th, 1994, yielded basically no leads whatsoever. The only thing they had was it kept coming in that the boyfriend fucked his roommate and the father covered it up because he's a detective.
Because that is a fun story.
Yeah, it's a fun one to go into. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You want it to be true just for the fun story.
Yeah, just because it's fun. 1995, they have another vigil. 1996. Police identify 2 suspects based on a psychological profile developed by FBI agents.
Great.
The news comes after detectives Macy and Anthony Malone traveled to Quantico and spent 3 days briefing 10 agents on evidence from the case. Okay. That leads nowhere, by the way.
Nice profile,
they say the profile is just very vague.
Yeah.
It's a vague profile, as a lot of them are.
It's Holden walking in the room and go, "We're looking for a black male." No,
we're looking for
what the fuck?
Looking for a white male, 30s. Oh well, that's everybody. So July 1st, 1996, there's friends. They have a big golfing day to raise money for her memory, to do scholarships and all that. 140 people played in a golf tournament here. It's the Lisa Zeigert Memorial Fund, and it raised about $4,000 at a golf tournament. So they're still doing that. People
got drunk and had a nice day, and nothing else happened.
Had a blast. Well, while that was happening, detectives were trying to get a better profile. They said they laid out all their evidence of the crime, and they said shortly after she was killed, the FBI did a profile on her killer, but the information then was also vague. But they said in those 3 years, profiling has gotten better.
Yeah.
So let's try again.
The thing is, we need better evidence. That's all.
There's just no evidence.
We're missing,
we have evidence.
Yeah, we're missing
physical,
keys. Right.
But we're missing stuff. Yes, exactly. 1997, they're still not giving up. They say they work the case. There are cops that say they work the case daily.
Really?
Still. Yeah. In this town, there's not a lot of unsolved murders bopping around, so they got to do it. They review old information, tracking down new information. Here, the police refuse to release names of several suspects they continue to investigate. Lawyers for a convicted rapist named Ronald C. Harrison said he was the subject of inquiries, but he was cleared a year ago. They said, by the way, during the vigil, they released white balloons in all these vigil, I guess, because she pumped up balloons, I think.
Okay, so let's litter in her honor.
Let's send rubber. Let's kill a bunch of birds in her honor.
What the fuck?
So in 2000, there's been a reward now. There is $100,000 reward that was posted in 1999.
Okay.
It was the Berkshire Power Company announced the reward on the 7th anniversary of her disappearance, and they said maybe $100,000 will get somebody to come forward.
That'll help, yeah.
They said you try not to get too enthusiastic or hopeful because there's a letdown a lot of times, but we're hoping. That's what the Dee said, Diane, Lisa's mother.
Somebody get that news to Joyce. That'll buy a lot of George Dickel.
Oh man, so much Dickel. Joyce she could get pickled and Dickel that time.
She'll be dead by 2001 baby. If she gets this.
No shit. So Dee says the highs and lows can get you. I can imagine if someone's missing and oh my God, did they find something? No, they didn't. That's got to be exhausting after years. She went on to say, I think I was more surprised that more information didn't come in. I don't know if somebody knows something, but maybe feeling scared to come forward. They said, even if you think it's insignificant, you never know what little piece of information can pull the whole thing together.
It's true, yeah.
2001, Mark Pafau there, or Fau, or however you say his name.
P-H-A-O.
Who's been working this case here. He takes all the calls. He tries to like collate all the fucking tips and get everything in order. And all the leads have led nowhere. And he had been, in 2001, been promoted to detective sergeant. And now he's taking over the case completely. And he's determined to revive it, he said, because the original lead investigator retired. And he said now he's going to try to, maybe fresh eyes, he can...
There we go.
Stir it out. At the time, by the way, when the guy was on the force and when this happened, they didn't even have a computer in this police force. There was not a computer at the police department in 1992.
You got to raise your taxes. I mean,
not one.
You guys got to have shit.
Everything was typed and logged by hand.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine? So 2002, the cops want to talk to Gary. They want to get him out of the way here.
Okay, yeah.
They questioned him when his wife brought it up 10 years ago, but he just was like, I don't know what you're talking about, and that was that. Right. So now, this is 2002, he comes into the station, because they requested he come in to talk to him. He comes in wearing a trench coat and gloves and refuses to touch anything, keeps his hands in his pockets the whole time, inside gloves.
Dude, that is the most suspicious thing you've ever done.
The weirdest thing you've ever fucking done, ever. He might as well have been jerking off under his trench coat. That would have been less suspicious. So he had declined an earlier request to sit down for an interview, but this time he agreed. So he shows up, like we said. He's trench-coated, gloved, and hands in pockets, but very polite and cordial.
Really? Yeah.
Very polite and cordial. But they said, tell you what, dude. We can get this over with, and you'll never hear from us ever fucking again.
Yeah.
DNA sample, babe.
Spit in this cup. Yeah.
One swipe on that cheek, boy, we'll never hear from us again, or you'll only hear from us ever again. That's one or the other.
Only well, either nobody or always.
Yeah, which if you didn't do something, you go, fuck yeah, let's get it over with. I don't want to talk to you guys. He said, no, I will not give you a DNA sample. They said, why not? And his excuse is the most wonderful excuse I've ever heard why I don't want my DNA sampled. It's amazing.
Is it because I don't want you to frame me for a bunch of things?
No, it's way dumber than that. Because that is possible. You think, I mean, who knows? Yeah. He said, I'm scared of being secretly cloned. He's afraid they're going to clone him.
I heard about this sheep dolly. I don't want you guys making more of me.
He's afraid they're going to make a bunch of Garys. That's what they're going to do.
You can't make more of me because I'm a rapist and murderer. That'll be so bad.
No one wants that. Oh, my God. That's like making more of those Terminator robots.
Don't do it.
Got to kill the one and get it over with. So he was scared of being secretly cloned.
Secretly. We're going to do it in secret.
The police have like their different rooms, and then they're like, nobody go back there. That's the clone room. Everybody out.
I don't want to be walking through
suspects.
I don't want to be walking through a Hannaford picking up apples and then see me. I don't want to grab the same apple as me.
I can't do it. So he'd spent the last 2 decades, basically, or last decade, just working jobs, working in the restaurant business, customer service at a rental car agency at Bradley International Airport.
Oh, no.
His friends, though, because they talk to people that know him, describe him as very docile and, quote, nicest guy you'll ever want to meet. Nicest guy in the world. Everybody says that about him. Real gentle guy, nice guy. 2003, they're still working it. They say they have a 3-foot-high file on the case at this point.
Really?
They've interviewed hundreds of people, so it's crazy. They say that they meet with other law enforcement officials 10 or 12 times a year working on cold cases like this. They found themselves reviewing funeral photos in the archives of the newspaper a couple months before this based on a tip from an unsigned letter. Like, look in there for someone who doesn't belong.
The guy was there, yeah.
But they said nothing checked out. They followed every lead, couldn't find anything.
Also, 800 people. That's crazy to look.
That's so many. How are you going to look through that? And how are you going to say that people just didn't show up because they're
curious and sad. Yeah.
And this is the social event of the fucking season. Right. Let's be honest here. Let's be realistic. So the one cop said, whenever we drive by that shop where she worked or see one of Lisa's friends, we think of her, and that goes for all of us. They said that though the days after the abductions and slayings grew into weeks and then months and then years, there's still answers to be had. We can solve this thing. Sure. The one cop said, I think that the answers are in front of us. It's just a matter of getting that break someday.
Absolutely.
Someday. 2004, they're trying to get an amendment passed, actually. This is D, Lisa's mother. Yes, campaigning for the passage of a victims' rights amendment for the U.S. Constitution.
Oh.
Well, let's read it here. This is from the Republican, that same newspaper. Armed with information kits about the amended parts of the Constitution that benefit those accused or convicted of crimes, Diane Zeigert has been calling and visiting lawmakers and law enforcement officials to gain support for the resolution now pending in the U.S. Senate. She has been visiting groups of senior citizens asking for their support. Recently, she mailed 120 letters to members of the Massachusetts delegation signed by constituents who support the constitutional change. There are 15 amendments for the defendant, she says. The defendant or the accused is mentioned 23 times in the U.S. Constitution, and the victim is not mentioned once. That's because there's nobody coming after the victim that way. It's not that you can't – that's a –
victims' rights are supposed to be a given. You know what I mean? Like that's It's because of the persecution from England. That's why they did that.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's to keep people
from being persecuted, right?
But this basically, I don't know what they're going for, because what are they saying? You have to investigate their killings. They're doing that already. So it's like saying make murder illegal. Yeah. It is.
They should certainly make hurting people against the law.
It's very,
But I understand. I can see what she's.
I get the point of it, but I don't get the practical application of it.
Yeah.
There is no solution to that. Yeah. Even if there's an amendment, they worked as hard as they can. They're trying to find it. Like, there's no way to go, oh, there's a constitutional amendment. Fuck, I better interview that guy again. I don't think anybody's doing that. Homicide detectives love solving homicides. They love it. Yeah. It's their whole thing that they do.
What they did is fucked with the wrong family. And this lady is not going to stop until there's some sort of resolution. I get it. I don't blame her at all.
And I can't blame her. Yeah. Plus, they've never found the killer at this point. So you're just looking for something to fucking do to make some progress. She's totally
just throwing punches into the wind, and she hates it.
This is a nightmare. I can't imagine. We breezed over it, but I can't imagine having your daughter missing or not missing, but the killer missing for 10 years. It's just unsolved.
Your daughter missing for 3 days, and you find her near a holiday that matters a lot to Catholics, and so that ruins that for her for the rest of her life.
It's destroyed.
And there's clearly a fucking monster in the wind for 10 years.
It's fucking one thing if she was found like in the river and there's no evidence and they couldn't find her or something, but they have DNA.
They have all kinds of shit.
Man. Like, that's got to be so frustrating. She goes on to say, we realize that amending the Constitution isn't done lightly. It's actually extremely difficult if we went through all the steps you have to do. But it was deemed necessary to amend it for the accused. Well, that's the Bill of Rights. That was the, And I have no argument, and there's more later, and I have no argument with any of those rights. They are there for a reason. The Victims' Rights Amendments does nothing in any way to diminish or remove any of those rights that have been granted. I don't understand. I still don't understand.
Does she want it to be guilty until proven innocent? Is that what she wants?
I don't understand. I don't get what the amendment, what they're trying to do. They never passed anyway. They never got an amendment. That's a huge deal to pass an amendment.
And to victims' rights, we all have them anyway, like given right away before you're a victim. So,
and especially socially and societally, it's all about that.
I don't know what she's looking for.
2005, families getting a bit impatient, and I don't fucking blame them.
Yeah,
I don't.
Closure is very important. Mm-hmm.
Like we said, she's going for amendments. She's going for scholarships. She's trying to get anything. She says that she is. She's hoping a member of the Licensed Private Detectives Association of Massachusetts will reach out to her family like they have with other missing people and things like that. She said that, she said, it's not that I don't appreciate the efforts of state police detectives, but it's been almost 13 years.
Excellent point, T.
Not that I don't appreciate you trying, but I don't know if effort is one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the skill or talent to do this at this point. So
I'm still a Broncos fan. I love watching them, but it's been years.
It's a long fucking time. Yeah.
Not a lot of W's happening right now.
Nope. It's rough at this point in time. We're trying quarterbacks and it's not working.
It's a struggle.
So she goes on to say she understands budget cuts and dozens of other cases keep investigators busy, but also, she'd like to find out who killed her fucking daughter because, who wouldn't? She says, but who knows what someone else might find. Fresh eyes also. Mm-hmm. So 2008, police question Gary again.
15 years.
16 years after this murder. They said, anything to say for yourself, Gary? He said, I didn't do it. I know that much. Yeah. He said, I didn't do it. He said, I don't really read newspapers. They said, have you been seeing what's going on? And he said, I only really scan the headlines, so I don't know. And he was sitting well away from the table in the interview room. Again, would not touch anything and refused to even touch the bottle of water they put before him.
Hilarious.
Wouldn't touch anything. They said, again, extremely polite, extremely cordial. They said, though, that his attire and behavior seemed odd.
Was he wearing
a trench coat with his hands in his pockets? Right. That's his getting interrogated outfit.
Was he wearing a pickle up his ass or something?
He was wearing just like a Siegfried and Roy outfit. It was really weird.
Really
shoulder
bright
pads,
and blinding. Yeah,
shoulder pads, the whole thing. It was very strange. Yeah. They said one police trooper said on the video he looked like someone who was trying to avoid giving DNA. Like, I'm going to sit back here.
Yeah.
Now, when they're sitting him down, one of the cops says, I think this may be the first time we're getting your side of the story as to why she's linking you to the homicide back here.
Yeah.
And Gary said that he had no idea why his ex-wife would claim that thing other than the divorce. And he said when she said that, and you guys asked me, quote, I went, what? What are you talking about? Like, this is new. Yeah. First you said I was trying to fuck your sister, and now this. This is crazy. I don't want to deal with you. So Gary walked out of the station again. They said, how about some DNA? He said, cloning technology is even better now. No.
It's outrageous.
They'll make 100 of me. Absolutely not. Can't do it. No can do, Chief. So 2009, by the way, this is kind of neat. Students with visual impairments will get some help from the Lisa M. Zeigert family, which has donated a software program.
Fantastic.
Valued at $795. Diane, the mother, said that the donation's one of many that have come from a fund established in 1992. She said they've given away about $75,000 since the fund's been established.
That's fantastic.
That's fucking great. That's what I mean.
They're still doing work. That's great.
They're still helping kids, which is nice. They're trying to do something, though. So the mom said this was kind of special. It was donated in the memory of the father of a dear friend of ours who knew Lisa, and he became blind in his later years.
Oh, that's the worst.
So this helps visually impaired. And the picture in the paper is a kid with glasses on. Look at this, sitting 2 inches from the screen typing. That's
poor kid.
I can't see shit. It might as well. There might as well be a bubble coming out of her mouth.
Fuck, I relate so hard.
That's And I see you when you're doing shout outs. 2010, Unsolved Mysteries. They get their own episode, babe.
The whole day.
The whole
30 damn minutes of this
The
shit.
whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the non-Robert Stack. This is the newer ones
the new
now.
one. Yeah, because Stack's dead.
Because obviously he died. This one generates hundreds of completely false leads.
Oh, damn it.
This wastes the cops' time for months, this whole thing, because they have to chase down every lead, and they're all a load of shit. So it's all a lot of people going, I think it's my brother, my cousin, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend.
Have you talked to Ed?
Yeah, if you talk to fucking old cornhole Ed over there. Now, 2013, remember Noelle? Remember our friend Noelle there?
She saw him on TV about his kid.
Yeah, she was working, doing shifts at several teaching hospitals in Boston. And during that time, she met a surgeon, fell in love, and got married.
That a girl?
So she didn't really see Gary anymore, except at a high school reunion, or there was a reunion dinner that one of her friends planned that wasn't an official high school reunion, but she ran into him there.
But she married a surgeon, has a house down the Cape. She's doing great.
She's doing just fine.
Lots of lobsters and oyster in her life.
She saw Gary at an event in 2013 and said he was much heavier now.
Really?
Like close to 300 pounds heavy.
Oh, it went sad.
And he has diabetes now as well, which isn't helping.
Yeah.
And, she said that, she's married now and hadn't talked to him in a while, so she just gave him a quick howdy ho. How you doing there? Hello. Then by March 2015, she's in the middle of a divorce with her surgeon husband. Shit isn't going so well anymore.
No, but she's getting that house down the Cape.
Well, yeah, maybe if she didn't have a prenup there.
Yeah.
Which 2010,
he
might have had a prenup on her.
And those houses aren't worth near as much as they were a few years ago.
No. He wrote her a Dear John letter and told her that he was ending the marriage. He said, quote, I love you as a friend, but not as a wife.
Ouch, shit.
I'm not going to live for years in a bad marriage or relationship again.
Oh, no.
So I've been married once. That didn't work. Thought the second time's a charm. And I said, you know what? Fuck this.
A letter is fine.
Letter is fine. So Noelle isolated herself for several months until her friend invited her to another reunion dinner from high school. Okay. Yeah. She took it as an opportunity to see some people and, get out of the fucking house and maybe not be so weird. So she sees Gary again. She said Gary had lost a whole bunch of weight and looked great now.
Wow.
Got his shit together. So she said they had dinner together, and toward the end, he wrote his phone number down and gave it to her and said, I'd like to get together sometime with you.
Oh, yeah.
So she said, all right, this is nice. Somebody's interested in me. And she said, quote, I know Gary and his family. It's not like meeting some stranger on Snapchat. I've known this guy since we were 15 years old. This is easy. Yep. Things are going great. Few months of dating. She felt that she had met Mr. fucking the one, Mr. Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Romantic comedy shit here. This is
beautiful.
Crazy. He had a steady job as a shuttle driver for Enterprise Rental at the airport. Not exactly a surgeon, but he works.
The mortgage is paid, or at least rent, whatever it is.
He works, and that's important. That's all.
We got heat on.
He loves animals, which is big for her. She's got 2 rescue dogs, and so she needs a guy who's really good with animals. He's really good with animals and especially good with children as well.
Okay.
She said at a birthday party for her friend's 2-year-old son, Gary played with the kid the whole day. She thought he might be overcompensating because he didn't have contact with his own son, who was living in Seattle with relatives.
Yeah.
And when she asked him, Gary claimed that those relatives had poisoned his son against him.
Poisoned him. Yeah.
Gary was an attentive boyfriend. They said she'd get sick. He'd be there with a bowl of soup in no time, fucking ready to go. They decorated Christmas cookies over holiday. It's a dream.
It really
is. It's a dream. It's a dream. Gary even drove one of her pets to the animal hospital after the dog had a seizure and collapsed.
Oh, my God.
And then comforted Noelle when Noelle decided she had to put the dog down because it was very ill.
Made her a nice clam chowder.
She said that when they were hugging about this, she noticed he had tears streaming down his face as well.
He was crying too.
He's over someone else's dog. That's what a nice
heart.
guy he's in. He's also, like I said, really into Batman. Really into Batman. Like hugely into even more
quit.
now. Oh, in the 2010s, he's like, this has been my time. I've been waiting for this forever.
30 years of Batman.
She said he had a collection of Batman T-shirts, all the Batman T-shirts. And whenever they went out to dinner, he always wore a Batman shirt that time. I always have to get my best Bat clothes on.
Got to go back to the Bat cave and get my
oh, my God.
T-shirt.
His Bat shirts he's got to get. So she did notice some odd behavior. Number one, she thought that Gary suffered from anxiety around crowds. When they went to the Boston Marathon together 2 years after the bombings, she recalled that Gary became uneasy when he saw how tight the security was lined up along the route because it was post-bombing.
Right.
She was a little taken aback when he got upset and refused to walk through the police checkpoint.
Oh.
She said that he was just pale with fear.
Really?
So as time went on, she started to wonder why. Maybe was it crowds or what's going on? One day, she recruited Gary to drive her a wheelchair-bound patient to the girl's senior prom. It was a young girl in a wheelchair. Will you drive her to the senior prom and chauffeur her there? So this was at a country club. After the dance, the teen struggled with the ramp and nearly fell out of the chair.
Whoa.
And Gary rushed to the girl's aid and saved her from basically catapulting out of the chair and onto a sidewalk. He grabbed her at the last second and saved her. But they called 911 when the police arrived, though, because it was protocol of if you have a patient, you have to call 911 if there's any incident to get her checked out. They called 911, so ambulance and police arrived, and she said, Noelle said she turned around and Gary's nowhere to be found, couldn't find him.
What?
She later learned that he hid behind the transportation van while officers interviewed her about the incident. Now, is it because he's been interviewed multiple times? He's just a little freaked out. Are they afraid he's going to try to clone him?
Right.
Yeah. Also, he's not into sex, really.
No?
She said he's really not interested in sex. Maybe she should put like Joker makeup on. Maybe that'd be different. Maybe he'd get into it then.
Have you tried dressing like Michelle Pfeiffer?
Well, she said at first I thought, oh my God, it must be me. Was I not dressed right? Does this cat suit fit poorly? What's going on? Did I not look right? She said she thought it was strange, but she enjoyed his companionship and didn't want to end the relationship because she liked him.
Yeah.
She accepted the fact that he saw her as a kind of a platonic girlfriend. They just kind of sat and watched TV together.
That's what my ex-husband did, so whatever.
So why not? So she had someone to spend time with, and that was fine. And she thought that Gary seemed like a safe bet, so why fuck with it? He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. She said that his idea of getting wild was wearing a T-shirt with a Bengal tiger print on it.
Like
that was like not a
swap meet shirts, not a Cincinnati Bengals,
not a Bengal shirt, a swap meet shirt instead of his normal Batman. And for him, like going real crazy was rocking out to Billy Joel.
Well, yeah,
he loved the song, which that's great. Yeah, I love Billy Joel.
He's a rock god. Jesus.
I want to rock out to Billy Joel. And he loved the song Innocent Man and would often hum it for hours at a time.
What?
An Innocent Man. Billy Joel's
favorite
song.
Billy Joel song is Innocent
Never
Man?
Heard that. Not
Nobody's
Vienna,
favorite song.
Not Vienna, not Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, not fucking any of that shit. No, not.
Downeaster Alexa? Nothing? You're running with Innocent Man?
Innocent Man.
That's weird.
She wanted Gary to meet her family, and Gary was interested in meeting the family, especially wanted to meet her famous brother, Rick, who was the FBI agent, who he led the investigations of the Boston Marathon bombings, not just was a part of the team. He's told her, your brother, the FBI agent, I got to watch out for him, like joking around, like, oh boy, you mess up around that guy.
He'll figure it
So
out.
Gary charmed her whole family, including FBI leading investigator brother, thought he was a great guy. They met at Easter dinner. And the family saw, after the first marriage ended for Noelle poorly, they said, this is great. Gary's the perfect guy for her. She seems so happy. 2016
No.
Yes. Police are now knocking out cold cases like nobody's business because we got DNA to a really...
That family thing, too, is working out.
Yes, they can do that. They can go on the internet and find you. So they meant they were able to put together a digital composite image of the killer.
Yeah.
Some basics based on his genetic material. They said a white man of European extract with some freckling, dark eyes, black or brown hair. That's what they mainly found. They said all evidence and leads previously developed in this case are now being evaluated in view of this new forensic development. Because they know that for sure. That's genetics.
Yeah, that's DNA. That's what shows up on the ladder.
That's it. They said with the mission renewed here, they said that they began poring over voluminous stacks of case files, focusing their attention on 11 suspects who matched the digital composite and had refused to provide a DNA sample when questioned. There's 11 of those people that hit the middle of that Venn diagram. 11. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. So after taking the case to a grand jury, they received court orders granting permission to force any unwilling suspect to provide a DNA sample.
Whoa.
Noose is tightening.
Compel. Let's go.
Yep. Authorities sent the DNA sample they collected at the crime scene to a lab and conducted the phenotyping or phenotyping, which determines the physical characteristics.
Right.
Now
that's where they test all the proteins and get the characteristics that come up for each one.
It's
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah. That's cool.
That's
pretty goddamn cool. Yeah. They're going to be like, and he likes Cocoa Puffs pretty soon. They're going to get very specific.
Yeah. With a penchant for Cookie Crisp.
He just loves it. I'm telling you. That's what it is. It's Cookie Crisp. Gary is on this list, of course. He'd been repeatedly questioned, doesn't want to be cloned, if we remember correctly.
Yeah.
He's one of 11 suspects. So they want to do that. They said we had to strategize about how could someone commit such a heinous crime and not do it again and not get caught. So they said it might have, because they ran the offender's DNA through the database, and it's coming up in no other unsolved crimes or solved crimes.
Never done it ever again.
Either that or was more careful about, didn't leave DNA.
Buried them all
and
time. Nobody's ever found them. Yeah.
Yeah, got better at what they were doing. So they said, so the focus became the refusals. The vast majority of people we contacted were cooperative and had no problem providing DNA samples.
Yeah.
Gary is working for the Bradley International Airport Enterprise Rent-A-Car at this point in time here. He is also working at Hofbrau House, which is a German restaurant as well.
Yuck.
So September 13th, 2017, they visit his residence in West Springfield. He's got a roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment. At the front door, it's a 2-family home. It's just like the house number 2 of our thing. They have the first floor.
Yep.
And then the second floor is another place. The man says that Gary's not home, but I'll tell him you stop by. Mm-hmm. Sure. Later that day, Gary called Noelle and asked if he could stay at her place for the night.
A little bit of heat around here.
Yeah. Things are getting hot. I got to go on the lam here. But he had never spent the night at her home during the week while he was working.
It's a school night. Why would you come over?
Yeah, he told her the traffic around his street was intense because of the hordes of visitors flocking to the gates of the Big E Fair that we talked about and things to do.
Goddamn Brothers Osborne.
See, why do you
so
think?
Many people in.
Come on, fucking Ludacris is here.
Fucking Flavor Flav is in the house, man.
He worried about being late to work the next morning. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to stay there. Yeah. He showed up at Noelle's house 20 minutes later. They watched TV, ate dinner. The next morning, she woke up before dawn and got dressed for work while he slept and, gave him a kiss goodbye, and that was that. Later that day, she returned home at 4:30, and noticed that Gary wasn't there, but his wallet, watch, and a handful of coins were on the kitchen counter.
Huh.
Which guys grab their wallet and watch when they leave somewhere. She thought, that's weird. His car isn't in the driveway. Why wouldn't he take his wallet with him? That's strange.
So she Brasco, motherfucker.
Yeah, she tried to call his cell phone, but it was shut off, so she couldn't even leave a message. So she went upstairs, took a shower, changed out of her work clothes, walked downstairs, then noticed a clipboard belonging to Gary on the coffee table. Attached to it was a letter with Noel's name at the top.
I'm not reading another fucking letter.
She thought it was another Dear John letter. She was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, man?
Again?
I don't even warrant talking to face to face. This
what
sucks."
Have I done?
So then she finds out, oh, this is way worse than a Dear John letter.
What is it?
Quote, "You are going to find out some awful things about me today." Oh, no.
Today.
"They will tell you I abducted, raped, and murdered a young woman approximately 25 years ago. It's all true."
Oh, my God.
All of it. "I had no intention of killing her when I grabbed her, but events spun out of my control." She fought. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was it. And in the eyes of the law, it's all the same. Yeah, what is it? No, I was just going to rape her? And I thought, he was just, Jerry, he was just going to rape her. I mean, he didn't mean to kill her. That's all. Yeah, it's the same. It's worse.
Out of control, you guys.
It's fucking worse if that's
Way
why
worse.
you did it. Yeah. And in the eyes of the law, it's all the same. I have never regretted anything so much. I always knew one day it would catch up to me, and now it has. I received a text from my roommate last night that the state police were at the house with important papers for me. That will be a warrant to take DNA, and that will send me away for life. I have never really been or felt normal. From a very young age, I was fascinated by abduction and bondage.
What?
Yep, I could never keep it too far from my mind for long. On that fateful day, I let myself do something terrible. I've never forgiven myself of that. I also never did anything of the like again, which is probably true.
If he's bearing his soul right now, he's saying he did it. I think I believe it.
And he's not planning on going to jail for it, so as we'll find out here. I hated what happened. I despised myself. I thought of turning myself in hundreds of times over the years, but I truly am a coward. Today it will all end. I will either take my own life or face the music, as it were, and then a big fancy G, he writes for Gary. The next 2 pages are his last will, which, by the way, is not valid in Massachusetts. A handwritten will at the end, holographic will, I think they call it.
Also, you got a roommate. What could there be to will?
Yeah, honestly. Your bedroom set? What do you got? Your IKEA dresser?
The Enterprise rental car clerk in his 50s? Come on, man.
Jesus Christ. So they said that he expressed remorse. The next 2 were a last will and testament and a letter to Lisa's family.
Oh.
As well, saying that he could never apologize enough for taking their daughter's life and siblings. He said, I never expect or deserve your forgiveness, but I hope knowing who I am and knowing I am gone will bring you some closure and peace. I'm truly sorry. GES, Gary Edward Shara. So at first, Noel doesn't believe this. I don't know why you wouldn't believe a murder confession letter.
He wrote to the family, ma'am.
She said, I thought he was having a psychotic breakdown and that he'd only imagined that he had committed this heinous crime, that he was just pretending that he did this. Who pretends this? Who pretends to rape and kill a girl 30 years ago? It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Is there... Perhaps his playlist of Innocent Man on repeat.
Over and over again.
Come on, lady.
But he listens to Innocent Man. He doesn't listen to Raped and Killed That Girl decades ago. I never heard him put that song on once.
He didn't play
Not
Uptown
once.
Girl. He played Innocent Man.
He played
you don't
Innocent
understand.
Man. Jesus Christ. So she heads to the police station, though.
Yeah.
She got into her car and heads to the state police barracks in Westfield. Yeah. And she's crying and asking to speak with someone working on the Lisa Zeigert case. Investigators were very stunned because, she just shows up with this. They said police said eventually they figured DNA would find a killer, whether alive or dead or something, but they never thought they'd see a confession, especially a written one. They never thought that. Yeah. Whoever keeps it for this long is going to keep it. They're going to deny it. and especially to his girlfriend. So they interrogate her into the night to make sure she's not nuts, basically.
Yeah.
They ask her hundreds of questions, including where the fuck is Gary? She said she's afraid he committed suicide and was hanging from a tree somewhere. And then she added at the end of this, I still love him very much.
Oh, my God, Noel.
This fucking Noel, good God. So then the PFOW guy gets a call from state police, gets in the squad car, goes over to the barracks, reads the letters himself, and he's like, holy fucking shit. He said, it's him, isn't it? He turned to them. This is the guy. This is the fucking guy. He said the hairs on your neck are standing up like you knew this was real. It didn't reveal a full confession. He didn't go into details, but between that and DNA, pretty good case we got here.
Not bad, yeah.
And so the detective said, I've been around a long time, and it seems like he's trying to clear his conscience is what he's trying to do.
Right.
So they said that, the PFOW guy said, this is crazy because I'm the one who visited Joyce McDonald Shara's relatives in Seattle.
Yeah.
When they told him that she got a music box like the one sold at Britney's there. I was there for that. I held that fucking music box.
Jesus.
I had her saying it's him 25 years ago.
Yep.
So
Turns
police
out
have
the only great thing Joyce ever did in her life was that.
That's it.
And
That was
tried to get your fucking attention, man.
yeah. And then she's dead by now.
Yeah.
So they still have to find Gary. He's on the lam.
Right.
They don't know where the fuck he is. So they
And
nowadays
nothing to lose.
Nope, but very easy to find because they just ping a cell phone.
Yeah. He probably doesn't know that.
Nope. They track him by GPS coordinates to Stafford Springs, Connecticut.
Okay.
Which is just past 10 p.m. when they find his black Honda Civic in the parking lot at Johnson Memorial Hospital.
Wow.
The plot thickens.
Yeah.
No sign of Gary in the car, but they do find a note on his dashboard saying, to whomever finds my body, I apologize for any psychological trauma incurred. Please call Massachusetts State Police. Thank you, GES.
All right. Where are you, Carmen Sandiego? This is a nightmare.
He is unflinchingly polite and cordial.
True.
I'll give him that. I mean, honestly, he really is a polite, cordial guy. Turns out he is inside the emergency room having his stomach pumped because this complete fucking dildo.
No way.
In the most piss-poor suicide attempt in the history of the world.
Parking lot?
Took a handful of ibuprofen.
What are you, 19-year-old girl?
He took a bunch of Advil, and then in 2 seconds after he got it down his throat, he got terrified of dying and ran into the emergency room and went, help me, save me.
I just ate 12 Advil.
They're
I'm
like,
going crazy.
Okay, I mean, your blood will be slightly thin, and you probably won't have a headache for a couple days. I don't know what to tell you.
Your period cramps are gone, sir.
Yeah. Ibuprofen, you can take larger dose, like Tylenol.
Sure,
If you took a handful of Tylenol, 2 days later, you drop dead. That's how
that right?
Tylenol. Yeah, Tylenol is a different type of drug,
Really?
whereas ibuprofen is a different thing completely. Yeah, there's people that do that. Take a bunch, then you drop dead like a day and a half later from Tylenol.
Ibuprofen's incredibly safe for
that.
Yeah,
you just can't take it every day, 25 times a day. Then your kidneys will fall out.
Yeah, you'll get yourself an ulcer. It'll fuck your whole system up.
So they search his apartment, and they search his girlfriend Noelle's home. As the officers swarmed her place, Noel calls her brother.
Yeah, the FBI
who's the
guy,
FBI agent who was driving to his corporate security job at Penske Corporation. He must be retired.
Yeah.
He's been retired from the FBI. And she said, Gary's under arrest for the murder of Lisa Zeigert. Now I have police coming to my house looking for evidence. And he told her, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? He turned his car around to come back, but she said, what should I do? And he said, be compliant. What the fuck do you think you're going to do?
Let him in.
You have FBI agents fucking swarming your house. What are you supposed to do?
Also, that guy was at Christmas last year. How did I miss that?
That's what I'm saying. This is a guy fucking leading a huge investigation, sat next to a murderer and went, great guy. Finally, my sister met somebody nice.
You found a tiny little bomb juice maker in a boat in a backyard of somebody's house.
This idiot,
the guy sitting
2.5
next
decades.
to you is a jeans-ripping murderer.
Fucking unbelievable. So she said, of course I'm going to be compliant. I can't believe this is happening. How could I have dated him for more than 2 years without knowing who he really was? Am I gullible? And he told her, quote, We all liked Gary.
I'm trained in this shit. I liked him too.
Trust me. So while they're searching for his shit through her house, she tells them this is his toothbrush and a full syringe used to treat his diabetes.
Bingo.
So if you need DNA, this might be where to get it.
Oh, we've got him. We're all right.
We're good. They searched the well under her house as well, and including every cereal box in her kitchen cabinet. They really searched hard here. In the end,
for the price, that's what they're looking for in the cereal.
I don't know what evidence they're going to find in a cereal box. They're looking for DNA evidence. There's no other evidence. He's not going to have like a selfie of him next to the body hidden in the Lucky Charms box in his fucking
every week
cabinet.
He moves the sock he took off of her into the new fucking Kashi box.
Well, we're out of Fruit Loops. Better move this into the Apple Jacks. What the fuck are you talking about? Very strange.
Well, they got Batman
prizes
prizes in the new box.
Oh, man. You know that's going to happen. So they end up getting saliva from the toothbrush.
Right.
And they run it, and sure as shit, that matches. And they said, Pafau said, when we finally put him in a jail cell, he sat on the bench, leaned up against the concrete wall, and just exhaled. It was finally over. There was no more looking over his shoulder. Basically, they think this tormented this guy for 25 years of being terrified of being caught. Not so much guilt. Who knows if it was guilt or just fear of being caught. But either way, this guy had felt this shit for 25 years. Good. The anxiety of it. Yeah. Good. Yeah, fuck. I hope he wasn't having a great life. Pulling over, dancing to songs and shit. Yeah. Fuck him.
I hope he put on that 150 with fucking shitty food and guilt and fear.
Oh, yeah. So for the next few years, too, they cycle his DNA through the FBI's combined system every week, comparing it with all these samples, and they've never had one other hit. Nothing. Wow. This is it. He did it once and said, oh, God, that was horrible, and never did it again. But still, once is enough, asshole. You can't kill a fucking young girl like that. That's nuts. So Noelle's mom here, Dee, said, we will just never know. I don't know why he chose her, because he won't talk. He won't say why. He just says, I did it, and that's that. You know, I did it. Leave me the fuck alone. Did she remind him of someone? Was he angry about something else and just walked into the store? All the girls Lisa went places with said they never remembered seeing him before. So he was not like a common person. They showed pictures of him from back then, and they went, don't
just
remember that guy.
Blended into the background. I've never seen him before.
And back then, too, like I saw his high school senior, senior pictures from the yearbook. He looks like wallpaper, just blends right in. Yeah. Nothing about him stands out back then. So a relative of Gary's who didn't believe his ex-wife now, the relative said she's racked with guilt because she doubted Joyce's story.
Right.
Initially, just thinking Joyce is an alkie. And she said, quote, I always thought maybe she was just being a crazy drunk, but she wasn't. She was right. She was trying to save her son's life.
There it is.
And she's a crazy drunk. Those things don't need to be mutually exclusive. That's the thing.
They can exist at the same time.
This is fucked up. 2 days after the arrest, Noelle celebrates her birthday. Yay, happy birthday.
What?
She receives a bouquet of flowers at her home, opens it up, and it's from Gary. He ordered them before he was ever arrested. He ordered them.
Shit.
Yeah, he did it ahead of time.
Already ready to go.
And so they
She's
came.
She's about to be reminded of me in 48 hours.
he already paid for it, so they delivered it, even though he was in jail. And she said that she was, obviously freaked out and tormented, He continued to send her cards and letters during his incarceration. She said he went to jail, and at that point, part of me was still thinking of him as my boyfriend. I couldn't make that change in my head that he wasn't. Wow. Then after a few months, she went to the jail, sat across from him with the telephone through the plexiglass.
Yeah.
And said, you lied to me and to everybody for 25 years. I'm going to come back someday, and you're going to tell me why you did this. You owe me that. I think he owes the family that. He doesn't owe you shit. You went out for a year. Like, who cares? Not only do I deserve it, but everyone else who's a part of this nightmare that you've created deserves it. The Zygert family will never have their daughter back. She had a whole life ahead of her. And Gary just stared blankly at her, never said a word. She got up and left.
Wow.
Just stared at her. Her life is also a little fucked up here. Right. She said that she maintains a low profile, doesn't do any media interviews really, and didn't want to appear at any of his court hearings. Yeah. She also said she's in debt because of her divorce and was terrified that she was going to lose her job because, quote, Who wants a nurse that had dated a murderer caring for their critically ill child?
Yeah.
She looks bad. She also wrote a letter to Dee, to Lisa's mom, and said, I know that nothing can ever bring your daughter back, but I hope that you are at least comforted by the fact that justice has been served. And Dee telephoned her and thanked her for that.
Really?
For helping the cops, do this and not being an asshole. Dee said she went to the site of the body dumping just to see what Gary, to get him out of her head.
Yeah.
She said, my hair is standing on end right now. I can just imagine her being here in the cold and dark, screaming, and no one can hear her. She's injured and someone is tearing at her clothes. Not someone, Gary.
Gary, yeah.
Her last moments were just awful. Just to be left here like this, it makes me want to vomit. I mean, what kind of a person does this?
Right.
Gary,
yes.
Again, is the answer to that. She said she had to get professional help here. She fell into a deep depression. Yeah. She said, quote, my life is pretty horrible right now, but I have my friends and family, and without their support, I don't even know why I'm here.
Dee said that?
No, that's Noelle.
Yeah. Okay.
Gary, their friends said this is, all of his friends said, no, this is crazy. They even said his interactions with women, he was always kind, funny, gentlemanly, chivalrous. Never weird, never creepy. Yeah. All of his friends said they could not find a single thing that even in retrospect looked weird. Yeah. Not even, that's what killers do.
That's what he does. Yeah.
One friend said nothing inappropriate, nothing darkly suggestive, nothing out of bounds. We've seen Gary in a variety of social situations, in mixed company, in just the guys' company, at the local watering hole, and at no time did we ever catch a whiff of violence or anger toward women, no subtly dark jokes, no misogynistic tendencies.
Well, he fucked up and he knows it.
Yeah, that's maybe it.
That's going to come up, man. That raises flags.
His former boss at the restaurant said he was a good-looking kid, reasonably good personality. He's very honest, this guy.
Bullshit.
If you ever want to know the truth, ask this guy. He said there was nothing to suggest that he did such a thing. Now, when he first gets arrested in 2017, he pleads not guilty. But then by 2019, when trial is about to come, he changes his plea to guilty.
You have to.
Gives up. Yep. And prosecutors, this is the first time Lisa's mom has seen the confession letter. She hasn't seen it before. They finally show her. And she said, my first reaction to the letter, I thought, this is absolutely frightening, just frightening. And it's amazing it didn't happen again. But I'm glad he wrote it because it's him saying I did it and him writing it and him signing it. So that makes it pretty. Mm-hmm. Aside from his admitted preoccupation with abduction and bondage, no clues. And Dee says, we just will never know. I don't know why he chose her. Did she remind him of someone? We don't know. So
you're never going to know.
Sentencing comes around. You, sir, may fuck off life without parole.
Yeah.
You're done.
It's over.
Yeah. One of the cops who often went to the cemetery, he said, to talk to Lisa during the investigation, brought a single rose to her grave after Gary was caught. He said, I put a card on it. It just said, Lisa, it's done. Rest in peace. And I put it on her stone because it's done. You could have just said that. She can't read.
Also, that's mad creepy for anybody that comes to visit. Like, what's done, man?
That's almost just like performative to me.
Yeah.
You could have just said that privately.
It's done card sitting on top of a gravestone. It's like, golly,
Does
man.
Hallmark
that's dark.
make that card? You know what I mean? Is that card even on Etsy? Can you find that? Your murderer has finally been apprehended. Is that a card you get?
Justice is served cards.
So after he sentenced Dee, and this is amazing that this woman said this because this Dee really is a real honest lady that seems to tell you how she feels. They said, do you feel great? And she said, relieved, but also let down. Oddly. She said, it's like, okay, so what do I do now? Because this whole time it felt like Lisa's been there because she's had a purpose. So now it's just what? Now there's nothing. Yeah. What do you do? It's almost like this kept her having a purpose. Yeah. She said, what do I do now? I can't fight anymore for justice for Lisa because now we have that. But for so long it consumed a lot of our lives and mine in particular because I was the face of our fight. But now we are thinking we'll finally go on a trip somewhere because we won't worry anymore that we'll get some important phone call and have to turn around and come back. They haven't gone on vacation in 25 years.
Some shit, yeah.
No, now she's not, but she was worried that before, if they ever went away, they'd get some update on the case. They'd have to come back. Now, here is the thing. On the Unsolved Mysteries page, under the comments, some people had some good points. One is, why didn't they do a paternity test with the child, with Gary's fucking kid?
Yahtzee.
Why didn't they ask the ex-wife, hey, Joyce, since you have access to the kid and think he did it, let's get a swipe from your kid. Yeah. Why didn't they do that?
Fuck?
They never even
whatever.
Yeah, pafow.
You son of a bitch.
It's very, very fucking interesting.
Great point.
And there's a lot of people who insist there was another person involved. Don't know why. A lot of people, right? There's a book written called No Tomorrows, where this is one of the stories they talk about by Joanne Connors Wade. It's a bunch of Massachusetts Northeast cases and abduction murder epidemic. It was written in 2006, so before the resolution of it. And the only way to get it is on paperback for $23 on Amazon. So that ain't happening. And that, everybody, is Agawam, Massachusetts, and one fucked up hell of a goddamn weird story.
It's so sad that, I mean, somebody on the internet just goes, why didn't they do this?
Yeah, duh. The whole
point,
FBI didn't think of that. The whole police department. And maybe they did, and maybe, I don't know.
Maybe she wouldn't allow it.
Why? She was trying to put him in there.
Yeah.
Maybe the kid didn't. Maybe they got to the kid later and he was an adult already. No, because the kid was born in like 93. Right. So the kid wouldn't be
should have been able to get it any time. Yeah.
Still 2011. I don't understand it. So whatever the fuck it is. There you go. That's the case. If you like the show, please tell the world about it. Tell everyone about it. Tell social media about it. Tell your friends about it. And, of course, leave a review on whatever app you're listening on. It helps so much. Give 5 stars and say something nice. You can't tell you how much that helps the show. So we really appreciate when you do that. Thank you. Also, follow us on social media, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter. Follow us all there. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is your website. Get all your tickets September 20th. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Get your damn tickets. Make it our biggest show ever. We're at the State Theater. It's big and gorgeous. We can't wait to be there. Awesome. Do that. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Also, new merch is up all the time there. Listen to our other 2 shows, Crime in Sports and Your Stupid Opinions, because they're fucking hilarious. Do that. And then if that's not enough for you, get Patreon.
More? Fuck yeah.
More. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all of that. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get a whole back catalog, hundreds of episodes, new ones every other week, one Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder. This week, what you're going to get for Crime in Sports, we're going to talk about, this will be very fun, the most inept teams of all time.
There's a lot of failure, a lot of losing.
We'll skip that old Buccaneer team we did a whole episode about from the 70s, but there's plenty of other losers that are fun to talk about. And then we will talk about, for Small Town Murder, a little bit of the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell mess. There's some specific points we'll talk about that are just fucking nuts. We have not touched on that at all, and
it'll take years to discuss the whole thing. We may as well just talk about the scandal.
You could do a whole podcast. We'll do the stuff about, and we know stuff about the comedian brother and all that shit, and her we'll talk about her weird philosophies and stuff. Right. Patreon.com/Crime in Sports is where you get all that. And you get a shout out. When do you get that? Right motherfucking now. Jimmie, hit me with the names of the most wonderful God people on this earth who have given us money and listened to our shit and keep coming back for more. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Kurt Burkhart. Thank you, Kurt. That was unbelievably kind.
You're so nice.
You're a good dude. Jason Fuller, love you, man. I hope you're doing well. Hang in there.
Doing great,
keep going.
Pal.
Fight the good fight. Elena Zemmel, Sharon Jones, Jasper McIntyre and his new bride, Annie. Congratulations.
Hey.
Rockstar Rod Campbell in Victoria, Australia is fighting his ass off, James. And he updates me from time to time on Facebook, but he's got a terrible cancer, but he's honest to Christ, beating the motherfuck out of it at 49 man. And facing it in an incredibly brave way. Good for you, Rod. It's amazing to have you along.
Fuck yeah.
Brittany Benoit Colquitt also, and that's the exact. You guys are amazing. Thanks for everything you do. Other producers this week are Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Michaela Estrada, I believe. Monge is back. Is it Monge?
Hey, Monge Sanja, yeah.
Monge. Yeah, is that did we determine that's how you pronounce that? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, but he's never corrected us on it.
That's what we've
saying
said
for 8 years now. So yeah,
it could be Monhe. I don't know.
Hey,
or Mange.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Great guy. Janice Hill, Greg Walsh, not George, Audrey Conway, Remy Martin, Julie Delano, Elaine Leroy, Kelly Burton, James Narzovich. Yeah, that's true. Nicholas McComb, Caleb W., Lisa Anderson, Linda Stranges, Ryan L., Brianna Diago, Chloe, Noel Farr, Tim Rogers, R. McCula, 4. I don't know. There's 3 others, evidently. Maybe he's the 4th. Alan E. Bree Jones. What is this? Oh, boy. What did I write? Raiju. Benjamin Krause. Chum Bucket with no last name. Kate Goring. Robert McClimus. Ashton Perkins. Tiffany Simon. Lisa Duval. Florian Thiedman. Emily C. Zachary Miller. Kyler Manter. Renee Repick. Spa. 64822. There's a lot of spas, evidently. 64,000 of them. Bong
Holy
Queen
shit.
XOXO. She loves and kisses, or hugs and kisses, right? Loves and kisses.
Loves and
Bong
kisses.
Queen. Borg Queen. That's what it is, not bong.
Hey.
Whoops-a-daisy. Dano with no last name, Christopher Legault, Kate with no last name, Tyler and Ariana Minor, Crystal Sheffield, Nicole Gandolfo, Brett with no last name, Taylor Gross, Bethany Svenby, Aura Guzman, Jessica Seco, Chico maybe, Jeff with no last name, Josie Chavez, Jonna Hanji, oh boy, Tracy Smith, Joe Boyd, Dina Hollister, Crystal Lukens, William Foles, Megan Burrells, Christina Little, Jacob Eve, Phyllis Spence, Alex with no last name, Savvy Travy, Amber Moore, Nicole Martin, Heather with no last name, Josh with no last name, John Taylor, Megan Elsmore, Shell with no last name, David Alden, oh boy, Adel Steinson,
Hey, nice work.
Paul Adelman, John Anderson, Anna Chambaless, Fuzzy Zeller, Nina with no last name, Joseph Pope, Tiffany Naffett, Zach Cole, Justine with no last name, Tracy Wood, Kayla Brandstetter. Brandstetter. Kelly Howe, or Ho, Jay Kill, Caitlin Chessie, Mary Jane Beatty, Nicholas Saee, Robbie Pistol, no, what is this? Neil Carlton, Patrick with no last name, Laura McGeechan, Brett Sawyer, Scott Peterson, probably not, but
Maybe. He could be
possible.
a big fan, even though we've talked mad shit about him.
Probably a piece of shit, but not this one. Matt Renfer, Catalina with no last name, Valerie Hillard, Yvette Ramirez, Jason Beathoud. All right. Catherine Cohen, Laura.
Nice work.
Laura Goldfarb, Brian Langston, Marilyn Copeland, Jacob Woolman, Amanda with no last name, Jason Grunspan, Adrian Ybarra, Shen with no last name, Kimmy with no last name, Rudes and Holes, Rudes and Holes, Gabriella, Matthias, Rochelle Williams, Mark Coleman, Wiley Matthews, Jamie Hebb, Katie Gouge or Goge. It's probably, I don't know. It's probably something else.
It's probably, I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
April Thornton, Rogelio. It's Rodriguez is his last name, so it doesn't matter. He knows who he is. Charlie Bennett.
You are, motherfucker.
Charlie Bennett. Catherine Bennett. Probably 2 of the same family Bennett. Tiara Speth.
Maybe.
Lanita Green. Yep. Dallas Perrin. Stephanie Hall. London Mitchell. Kurt Jurgens. Oh, boy, that's a tough one. All right. Alan. Alan Leica, Dion Joseph, Bailey with no last name, KC with no last name, Christopher Pritchard, Timothy Walker, Justin with no last name, Brandy Ross, Martha Dominguez, Paul Bryson, Amanda McKenzie, Braden with no last name, Anthony Wood. He got 2 patrons. Thank you, Anthony.
Wow.
Unless
Thank
there's
you so
2
much.
dudes named Anthony Wood back-to-back that donated to us. I doubt it. Taylor Murdoch, Anthony Wood, Don Brodka Jr., Kix Ruger, Pam with no last name, Sharon Ford, Alexandria Smith, Taylor Mexfort, C. Wick, Dan Searle, Tammy Henderson, Katie Smith, Maria Matlock, Alyssa Ilchert, Michael Kleinfelder, Zach with no last name, Chris Pulley, Jennifer Aquino, Tanya Montez, Ashley with no last name, Scott Wade, Sophie Potter, Giggle Tasha, Sean Homestead, Janelle Dutile, Derica Richard, it's Derica, right? The
Derica?
Fish Fingerer, Emily, the Fish Fingerer, my Christ. Emily Borgie, Thomas Richardson, Brittany Benoit Colquitt. I said that. Tyra Godey, and all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. You guys are fucking awesome. We cannot thank you enough for all that you do for us. You keep this train going forward and you keep us afloat. So thank you for all that you do. Keep coming back and doing more, and we'll keep pumping out as much cool stuff as we possibly can. And we will keep doing that every single week. You want to follow us on social media? It's all on shutupandgivememurder.com. Keep coming back. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.